Hello again. Greetings, blessings, salutations, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, here to offer you guys some offer you some love, some peace, some tips I found for myself as a fellow human being living in this crazy, chaotic, sometimes confusing world. We're all living a very interesting time for the human species and maybe for each of us. So, today the thumbnail was something that I've observed, and it's right there in front of our faces. It's logical. It makes sense. Who we are is the body, mind, and spirit of the self. And there's no separating the mind, body, and spirit, although in our minds we often forget to care for our body or to listen to our spirit. So the mind it's where all the confrontations can happen, all the contradictions are found in the mind. That's the only place that confusion is really, well, confusion in the mind is the most common symptom. So, the idea is, though, for health. We all want to be healthy, but life has convinced us that health comes at a cost and it's expensive and it's too much work and it's just for those other people. Those are the things I used to say myself, at least. But health, man, health is very important. If you don't feel good, you'll be miserable. And these bodies, they can carry pain, they can carry suffering, they can carry all sorts of uncomfortable feelings. But brothers and sisters, these bodies, they also bring like pleasure. It's just because we live, we're allowed to know these things. And so the obvious truth is to care for your mind, body, and spirit. Spend a little time every single day intentionally. Set aside some time for a little bit of exercise, um, a little bit of learning, and a little bit of prayer. No, service. That was it. Mind, body, and spirit. Exercise, meditation, and prayer. Those are the three things that most people, I used to neglect myself. And I think many people minimize the importance of meditation, contemplation, purposeful reflection, and exploration of the inner self. And then the idea of prayer, connecting to the divinity, to the love that surrounds us and forms us all, right? So prayer, meditation, and exercise, those three things are the keys for health. But along with those, it's not just meditation. So this is where I was trying to balance, right? Because within this realm we live in for growth, it requires resistance, it requires strengthening. So to strengthen your mind, learn. To balance your learning, meditate. Reflect on what you've learned, reflect on what you've experienced. Contemplate, consider that which has been revealed to you. Okay, so balance your learning and meditation. Your exercise, of course, balance with rest. you know, when you got time where you're experiencing waiting, right? Waiting for an appointment, waiting for whatever, waiting for the next event in your time, intentionally rest. So balance your exercise with rest, but do things to stimulate and mobilize your body. That's what these bodies are made for, man. They're made for movement. These bodies are made to experience life, not just be stuck in a routine or sedentary sitting on a couch. And yeah, I know what you guys see is me sitting on a chair a lot. but but there's more to my life than just the little bit that's shown here. So for our minds, balance learning and meditation, the body, balance exercise and rest, and for the spirit, balance prayer and service, right? Prayer is right. We've identified something that our minds, our hearts desire. So the prayer typically goes for that. But what balances the desire that we want is the giving of what others want, others need, right? So if we can balance our service with our prayers, man, our exercise with our rest, our learning with our meditation, there is the keys for a balanced life. And praise be. Proper instruction motivates people. Thank you for the generous contribution, and all hail God of media. No losers need apply. Oh, did I not pin the link? I thought I did. For those who wish to join, please, the link is pinned. As a matter of fact, I'll just drop it again. Today, this is kind of what I wanted to share. I was actually, here's where I'm at today, the daily Talcott diary, I guess. The confessional. I don't remember what I did last night. Oh, I've been talking to my brother. I've been reuniting a little bit with my brother when he's got time. And he's like 10 years younger than me. And we live totally separate lives. But he's grown into a very wise and compassionate, caring man as well. So it's been nice kind of catching up with him a little bit. Recently, we had a lot of smoke, had a lot of fires around Spokane and where I'm living. But yesterday came in with a beautiful storm, rained all night, all day yesterday. And today, man, the sun is shining, the sky is clear, and all the weeds are popping up to tell the neighbors, hey, look at this guy over here. So instead of addressing the weeds and mowing my yard to please the neighbors, I spent a lot of time this morning in reflection, contemplation. As my words, am I following the words I'm offering, right? Am I applying this exercise, meditate, and pray every day? Yes. To varying degrees, but admittedly, my physical exercise has been pretty minimal for a while. I kind of detached from the physical reality, and I've spent a lot of time in the mind and spirit of me and others, understanding the minds and philosophies of other beings. And but the time is coming. The time is coming for me to start changing my physical appearance and to present a better example of what I hope to show. I was going to claim the title and of what a life coach or a speaker, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? What a man would show. So the one of the things I was considering, brothers and sisters, what is true for me is true for you, should you allow it. Should you allow us to agree on the same perspective? Well, Well, the way I see the world today, I went out in the sunshine, as I said, just grateful for the smoke being cleared, the sun shining. I heard the kids playing down the road. Life is happening, and it filled my heart with joy. And I've had the opportunity, I don't remember specificities, but I had the opportunity this morning to listen to some other YouTube creators. Some of the presentations on philosophy and deep thought. And I love those topics, brothers and sisters. That's what I found. What I found helped me as a man was when I remembered how to learn. Silly and stupid as that sounds, but I remembered that I could learn anything I wanted. I didn't have to enroll in a college. I didn't have to go sit in a classroom. I mean, and actually these days, I don't even have to go to the library. There's an abundance of knowledge available for each of us. But so then you've got to balance your time. What do you do with what you've learned, brothers and sisters? What do you do? What do you do with what you've received? This was one of my thoughts from earlier. And I started down this road. What applies for me is applicable to you. There's just the laws of the way that things are. And what I've observed is we live in a world where everyone can do what they want within limits and exceptions. And that's what a lot of people want. They want a world where everyone can do what they want. But until we collectively address the individual selfishness that each person shows, right? Until we address the selfishness of the individuals, we're going to stay divided, and what people want is not necessarily what is life bringing or healthy for others. But to bring it back to me, what I considered for me is I do what I want. I live freely as I can with the resources that God and my life have allowed me. So all I receive is mine to share, to share with myself and those who I choose to. That applies for you as well. All that you have is yours to share with yourself and with others you choose to. But what do you choose to keep? Do you choose to keep bitterness? Do you choose to keep resentments, complaints? Or do you choose to keep joy and peace and share that? That's what I'm offering today. And SPLS representative, God bless. Good to see you again, brother.
Praise Margot for reporting Wacko Jacko. And now they're finally sending directed energy weapons at Spokane to stop your madness, Jack.
Someone had to do something, right? Hey, it's good to see you, my friend. Hey, there was one other thought I had beyond the for each of us, all we receive is ours to share with ourselves and those who we choose. What we receive is that which we acknowledge, and especially acknowledge with gratitude. Because once we can receive life with gratitude, we can share life with others with gratitude in all ways. And it feels good to share. It really does. We all know that. And here's something along the lines, what do we do with what we've learned? What I considered earlier, what a man or a woman is, what they show the world to be, A man is made by everything he knows, everything he's learned, good and bad. But we show ourselves not just by what we know, but actually what we do not know. It's our blind spots, our ignorance, that's where each of us can come in and help each other. Does that make sense?
Yeah, whatever. Hey, Jack, I got some bad news, man.
No,
For you.
no,
I
no.
fucking trademarked your whole life and likeness. It was very cheap because your life is worth very little. But now, because you brought up Talstock the other day, you actually owe me money. Because the
How
whole
much?
name and everything is trademarked. So because you in Flow State used it and said it, you actually got to pay me now. So not only am I not giving you anything for that, I'll expect you to pay the outstanding balance if you don't mind, please.
How much do I owe you?
Oh, a mere 2,000. You know, my going rate, 2,000 for 45 seconds.
Holy shit. The 45-second part there got me, man. Oh my goodness. Yes, I'm reading my notes. The viewers noticed that. Hey, this is something else I've noticed. Hey, have your people get a hold of my people and we'll get the debts resolved, okay, brother? Oh, that's right. I don't have any people. So good luck. What was I gonna say? There was something. Holy cows, man.
Your insane, maniacal, creepy laugh. So that's going to be another 2,000. I'll have my people call your people.
Please do. I look forward to meeting my people. Oh, hey, this was another thought I had, admittedly. My memory. I truly don't give a shit about my memory anymore. All I care about is what I know, what I do. Mindfulness. That was the topic I wanted to discuss for practicing peace. Practicing mindfulness of the moment. Each moment passes. And just allowing each moment to be new, without resistance, without emotion or attachment. I actually think that's how we're supposed to live, guys. What do you think, Paul? Hey, I actually think this might be true. This every day it is possible. And once Jack and Paul actually find ways to communicate and understand each other better, holy shit, this world does not know what. They have no clue, man. Anyway.
How fucking high are you today, man?
Oh, I keep giving up.
What do you mean? He's not high enough?
No, I'm not really high. I mean, yeah, I smoked a little bit today, but
You didn't take none of them THC edibles, huh?
no, I ran out.
Oh, you're just in good spirits then today for some reason.
Yes,
Talcott.
it is. Well, brother, this is what I mean. There is peace found in surrender. Doesn't mean giving up. I still got shit to do. Like I said, I got to go mow the yard and figure out the future, but I don't have to worry because there's nothing to worry about right now. And I'm sure the future, dude, Paul, there's something mysterious that's going on in my life. All right. And I look forward. There's going to be a day. Oh, this was an observation. I don't remember what I was watching, but we're experiencing at this time, brothers and sisters, around this world. I don't know exactly how to explain it, or I don't claim to fully understand it, but we're experiencing like a quickening or a happening. There is an energetic shift that's happening around the world. And it's fucking cool, but it's also scary. And well, it's only scary if you worry.
Yeah, that's that shift that's kind of making us attracted to each other, huh? Like, I mean, you and I, we're not really gay, but for some reason, like, there's this really strong kind of chemistry and attraction between us, and it looks gay from the outside, but on the inside, man, praise God, it's something else.
It's just, yeah, there is something beyond just the physical that has created a connection between you and I, Paul. That's this realm we live in, man. There's something. Hey, along the lines of this quickening, this happening, this things changing, I think what will happen is a lot of people will end up doing those things. I would never do that. I'd never believe that. They're gonna
Yeah,
find
many
out.
women said that they'd never fuck me because I was so grotesque. And then after a while of just me hanging around them, wearing them down, I got my way.
Brother, I relate to that so well.
I know you do, Jack. Hey, do you think it's possible we're going through some kind of Tal apocalypse?
Dude, I don't know. Anything is possible. And there is a shift going on, man. There's something. Oh, so the veils. That's what it is. The veils. The veils of ignorance. The veils are weakening. So, and what I mean by that is like the veils between the form and the spirit. I think that's weakening. There's a lot of people claiming to have connections and whatever experiences beyond the body. And so there's also a weakening of the veil between truth and lies. It's like there's so much information out there, but the difference between the truth and a lie, it's very thin. Since before there used to be great expanses between one person's knowledge and another's, right? And so now the knowledge difference between the poor working class and the elite, it's separated. That veil has weakened because of communication technology, the evolution development of time, humanity. I don't know, that made sense to me earlier. Hopefully it comes across some way. But hey, no joke either on this. In my personal practice of prayer, meditation, and exercise, admittedly, my exercise has not been great, but I do spend time stretching, manipulating the spine, every vertebrae. Get that spine loosened up, man, and get your hips stretched. I think particularly men, but well, I know myself. Stretching the hips, it like makes you want to walk, want to run. It makes you feel better.
So my question is, why aren't you in like one of those biking shorts outfits, those get-ups, just kind of doing like Talcott time stretches, just kind of touching your toes, like, come on, brothers and sisters, let's stretch. And then you just kind of bend over in front of the camera. You make it real creepy and awkward, but also kind of fun and inspiring.
Dude, Jeffrey just came to my mind. Phillips.
Right. Creepy and awkward, just like Jeffrey Phillips. But you are endearing somehow, right? Somehow it doesn't matter how creepy and awkward you get, it's always kind of endearing.
No, I'm not trying to pick up men, and I don't think women would really be.
Why are you saying that? As if women don't like a man with a nice ass, Talcott. You're a
Yeah, no.
military man. You know, you've been running all around and we're all over town, ending wars and legal secrets. You probably got a rump on you. Women don't mind that.
No, actually,
You're like
I
the
need.
Richard Simmons. You know how much pussy Richard Simmons was getting? He was constantly surrounded by women. You've never seen that?
I'm confident. Dude, see, think of that. Think of some of the lives that some of these other people have lived. Just being bizarre and on display, but living these crazy lives where people throw themselves at them. What the fuck is this world, Paul?
Is this even real?
Oh, it's too perfect to be real. That's what I think. So it's got to be a dream. Because I don't know. I was thinking about the power of logic and reasoning. What a fucking gift that is. Because that's how we figure things out, is logic and reasoning. But that brings in the timing and prayer and meditation. I don't remember why I started saying this stuff, Paul.
Yeah, but Talcott, you know that in this game that you're never supposed to reveal that. You don't tell the audience that you don't know
Mhm.
and that you don't remember what you're saying. You're here to
I
bullshit them.
know.
Fucking follow through, man. Really dedicate yourself.
I know, and actually, you are correct in that advice, that observation. I've recognized that I have that I have made that tendency or allowed that tendency in the past. It is something I hope to improve. I intend to improve. This is it. If you can allow your mind the concept, just perhaps, what if? What if everything is perfect? The right here and the right now, all of the past perfectly brought us to the right here and right now. And if perfection is right now, until we decide it's not, it is. Because it's always right now, man.
Right. And I'm seeing some people down there who, despite my efforts to be very caring and loving and peaceful and calm today and co-creative,
You know
they're
what?
like imagining disagreements. They're fucking saying shit about Talcott. And this is how I catch shit. Because they're all people from my area. So now the narrative today is going to be somewhere in Talcott's mind. All of my flying monkeys came over, started being insulting and rude. I didn't ask for that. I'm not even streaming right now. I just came to say
Really?
hi to Jack, and you guys just fucking come over here and start causing a ruckus.
Hey,
Tired of it.
well, thank you for calling that out. And it looks like the one of the comments was already addressed. Thank you, mods, for doing that. And whoops, I didn't want to hide that. And yeah, no, Paul, you're bringing every day. Every day is new in my life, and I think Paul pretty much. But definitely today, man, Paul's bringing cool fun and more entertainment than what I do by myself. So please, um, brothers and sisters, man, holy cows. I do want to address this comment though. Did you have something, Paul?
No, other than I think that's his Zetetic Warrior down there under his other account, Pool Boy. That's his new profession, of course. Um, he's insulting me and telling you to leave me, and they still don't get. Me and Jack have merged long ago. You're not going to get in between us. We have our little spats. We have our little on break periods, but we always come back to each other. It's been the pattern every time. You guys like, you don't get it. We're like that cucked
Well,
out couple that just goes out on the town. We fuck everybody, and you think you're going to like get in between whatever we got going on by telling shit we already know. Nah, we're going home together. You can't stop it. All right? Have your fun when we're out in the town, but at the end of the night, you know what time it is.
hey, well, I understand the perspectives that people are offering. Okay, and there's something to be considered though. Hey, I do want to address this because similarly, there's a lot of things that are not acceptable. Okay, children being tortured, that's a pretty fucking serious thing, and I would like to be a part of helping the solutions. Okay, and the way I ease myself, my own mind, I can spend all day crying and worrying and being angry that there is evil in this world. I have. Or I can believe within myself that I can be part of the solution. Maybe I can't help those children right now today, but maybe by some of these efforts, you know, we all know different people, and we're all bringing our light, our ways into the world. I used to hold myself back a lot. And so here, while there is evil, there is corruption, there is pain, there is suffering, all of that is real to us. It's all part of life and growth and evolution and learning. And the fact is we are allowed to play a part in this story. And imagine the joy of being able to find a way, to interrupt some of these fucking trafficking groups and the corruption of our enforcement and judicial system. It's criminal. Imagine that we can, and I'm sure we can find a way, guys. I don't know.
Jack, they're lying again on me. And it's kind of disappointing that you allow this over here, but I won't necessarily take it personal. It's just
Please
but,
don't. I
but then
honestly
they're
go
saying
ahead.
I erased the Talstock event. Just more lies. I didn't erase it. I will not erase it. How dare you? If I told Jack he was getting something, he'd be getting it. First of all, you don't even know that I wouldn't want to work with him in the future. But after all this that went down, I mean, please. It's going to be a long way back. That's all I'm saying. And part of that long way back is going to be getting all the broken hoes out of Jack's life. Keep steering them off course. They're horrible advice. All you got to do is ask yourself, Jack, when these people are talking to you, would I want to be DD214? Of course not. Would I want to be like Flow State? Absolutely not. Would I want to be like, well, Snafu Snaps was good today, so I don't want to insult. But you get my point. Would I want to be like these people in any way? If the answer is absolutely not, don't take their advice. I mean, it's common sense, right? It's pretty sensible.
I understand the logic. I truly do. However, I don't know. I find peace just from I don't know, dude. Many people have brought a lot of doubts and disbelief and even accusations at me of some horrible fucking things. And Paul, this was part of my process today of surrender, giving up, quitting, not giving up, quitting. Is this shit is nuts all around the world. And so, but the thing is I feel at peace, and I question myself, why do you feel so peaceful, Jack? Just all the things that are obvious, right? The social, the employment, financial. Why do you feel at peace? Makes no sense. What can I change? I can't control the world, right? None of us can. None of us can control the world beyond what we can influence. And hey, as far as what you were saying, Paul, please do not receive disrespect from me or the chat. I certainly don't intend any. And
I
I
don't
haven't
know,
been
Jack. I
paying
mean, this chat has offered me nothing but disrespect so far today, and I would hate to think that that would carry over to you.
It's fascinating.
What, are you drinking again? You're over there
No,
hiccuping. Something's
um,
different about you today. You ain't taking shots, are you, under the table?
no, dude. I'm just seriously. I'm truly at peace. My mind is still blown, dude. If you saw my phone with all the read and unreplied fucking messages, is like I swear I live in another dimension or a different timeline than the rest of the world. But you, Paul, you've been a part of this recently.
Right. I also have a lot of messages left unread. So we have that in common.
You haven't read the ones you received.
Well, you didn't specify in which direction.
I know. But see, this is the oddity. There truly is like a yin yang thing between you and I. There's a balance and yet an opposition, and it's been fascinating. And I have grown. But now what? What do we do with this?
Hey, can you please shut up your ex-boyfriend, Flow State, who got with you when we were on a break? Because you didn't realize that your heart belongs to me.
Hey,
Break's over, Host State. Stop insulting me. Jack's done with that for now.
oh,
You will be silenced, you slave. Stop hating on me. You and the pool boy and the rest of the slaves. Lying, too.
oh, but what about this thought? Okay, Paul? Because this is kind of an example of where my thought was at earlier. All I receive is mine to share with myself and those who I choose. So how much do I allow myself to receive? I allow myself to receive the world. So I share the world with you, my brother, freely. Take as much as you'd like.
All right, well, I'm pretty sure you got some furniture around that house you're not going to need when that house gets taken. So if you want to just go ahead and pack that up, bubble wrap it, I'll just send someone over to pick it up. You got any 5X button downs?
No, those I do not.
Yeah, I'm on an upswing to success, and you're clearly on a downturn, so you're not going to need those dress clothes. I might need them. Also, too, I might have to show up at court, so dual purpose them.
No, brother, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I spend a lot of time in imagination, admittedly, but I'm pretty sure that there's a path where you and I are supposed to like change everything. Like we're supposed to change the judicial system and the court system so the true criminals are exposed. The judges and the fucking legislators.
Right. The Tarek Warrior said we were going to change the world too, and then he went on a 3-month-long man period. Still, he's still leaking a little. He's spotting still, so we're getting over it.
Well, that man, he like me, he went through a lot of transitions in his life, going from having a family and a career to
becoming a transsexual. Right, and that's the thing. I told him, don't take the damn hormones while you're doing the broadcast because it's going to cause mood swings. You know, you gotta do that first and then do the broadcast.
I actually think he's part of the future too. There's like a dude, can you imagine the chemistry, the energies? If we can get that chemistry to balance between you, me, and Zetetic, there's a lot of charisma and intelligence between us. And not to exclude any others, but I don't know, man. I'm always thinking, what can we do? Right? Because if I can come up with a game plan, if I can come up with an idea, even if it's a little bit absurd, it gives me a little more peace because it gives me, maybe there is something that I don't yet know, that I haven't yet seen. I don't know. The chat, I'm in growing as a broadcaster, balancing attention to the chat has not been I'm still pretty weak there.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to really say this, but I think it's time once again to restore my complete privileges so that I can really just kind of monitor these people, get them in line, maybe make some of them submit to my will, but for God and the children, really.
Well,
I'm not that egoic, Jack.
It's not submission though. Not with here. Not I want us to coexist, co-create, collaborate. That would be the ideal. Welcome,
Right.
Flo.
Thank you, Jack.
Please. Let's be nice to each other. Paul, there's another hate and love, Paul, between you and Flo. There's something there.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, there's something there. He's a jealous, envious hater who constantly has to try to pick apart what he thinks is my image online. Bizarre.
I like it when you struggle.
There's no struggle here, sir. You're powerless in all venues. You haven't figured that out yet.
Here's a distraction. Rob Cleveland, thank you, brother, for the super sticker. God bless. We are all here. Hey, I know actually you two share similar ideas in some things that I disagree with. I think we all agree to order in the world, better order, and better respect for what is true. I don't think we have disagreements in there.
Those are vague talking points, though. It's always when you get in the details that disagreements show themselves.
You do like finding disagreements, as does Paul.
Right, and if you listen to the tone of his voice, he's overtly feminine. He's got the spirit of his mama up in him.
So do you judge overtly feminine as a bad thing?
Yeah, he's toxic feminine. That's the thing. He's not in touch with the sacred feminine within him that actually cares for what's true and what's right. He's toxic feminine to where he even when he speaks, you can hear in his tone, he's like a broken little hoe.
Paul,
those are big talking points. They all have the same affect. It's amazing.
Can you hear yourself, please? Okay.
You can't. But Paul, we're trying to end conflicts here.
Well, the divine feminine.
The thing. You wouldn't know how to end conflicts because you've never stood and fought in your life in any venue. How would you know how to end conflicts when you're a coward?
How do you claim to know these things you say? Never done. Or come on, dude. That's
how do you know that I've never been in a fight, Paul?
There you go. You think that I'm talking about rolling around with your buddies at the flagpole after school. I'm sure you suck at that too, but that's not exactly what I'm talking about.
What exactly are you talking about?
If you don't know by now, you may never know.
Hey, I want to change the subject, please, because this conflict and here's something I was considering earlier. And Paul, I want you to please think about the pride comes before the fall. Where did that quote come from? You guys know? I didn't look it up. But the pride comes before the fall, and that is, man, that is so true.
Isn't that the
Because
Bible?
I'm not sure, but it is what I see happening in the greater scope in the political arena as well. But the prideful become arrogant. The arrogant leads to foolishness, and the foolishness leads to shame. So I recognized a long time ago for myself, I needed to find more humility to the truth so that I felt better, so that I wasn't so upset all the time. I think that's what our world needs. We need less prideful arrogance, and we can bring humble service into the governance and policing of the lands.
I agree with you, Jack. When other folks who've done little to nothing to change the dynamic we deal with would stop being prideful when they have no results, and egoic and arrogant, they can actually speak with and listen to someone who has and is doing those things. So I agree with you.
But okay, your standards are on who delivers the message.
Well, typically nobody's going to listen to anybody deliver a message they're not living and walking, unless they're a fool.
Well, certainly, but this is part of the obstacle I feel that we're facing is the world has the world through the deceived has raised many confused people, and we live in a world of confusion. So you're right. It's hard to convince people, hey, you know what you believed your whole life? It's actually wrong. It's a challenge. Hey, you know that thing your mom and dad taught you to believe and everyone around you, your life told you was true? Yeah, that was actually a lie. People don't like that. So,
right.
Yeah.
None of us liked it, Jack. Do you think that, every one of us has the same story on some level? It's not a competition. If you live life with any kind of awareness, every one of us has been through the pits of hell, mostly chosen, really, if you look at it.
Correct. That's what I've realized too, Paul. We have a lot of similarities. You, me, and Flo. We've faced and battled our own demons. We've challenged ourselves and others in different ways, and here we are. So
Here we are not doing any of it. None of us right now.
The worldly conditioning has taught us to live in a state of unrest and in a state of unsatisfaction, unease, and we don't have to have conflicts. We don't have to have disagreements. We can have intentional resolution, intentional goals. Today just starts our life for tomorrow.
Right. Here's where I have to then agree with Mr. Slow State here yesterday when he said, I believe it was yesterday, that he believes there's a function for controversy and conflict, as do I. The only problem with his belief is it's another place he doesn't live his information, because he's constantly talking about me when I'm not here, but when he's in my face, he won't directly address it.
What do you want to address? Let's go for specifics. You bring up a specific, I'll address the specific. But if
there
you bring
are no
up these
specifics, this interaction's been going
that's
on.
the point. That's the point.
Are you going to let me finish?
Is it going to be specific?
Again, I don't have specific issues with you. You have some hard on for me, making videos about me, talking about me, characterizing things about me. I've done nothing but respond to your cowardly ways online.
So do you have a question about why he did his videos, or you just have a complaint?
There's no complaint. I guess I was simply asking him to be a man and speak to me directly about what his issues are with me and what he would like changed so he can stop bitching and complaining and making false characterizations of me when I'm not around, but runs every time I come up and address him directly because he can't handle conflict and controversy.
Paul, that narrative saying always.
That's what makes me think you've never stood and
said-
fought for anything also, by the way. You're a punk ass bitch. It's
Here,
not hard to tell.
take a break from the insults. I think this is funny, particularly the profile image. Jack Talcott. Jack, I miss you. I wish we were together again. People are creative. And hey, for whatever reason, our paths have crossed. Okay. We don't have to have conflicts and disagreements, but what I see as a common tendency is when we bring accusations without specifics, without the facts. And when we exaggerate with this always do, Flo's not always running from you. He's been here, and in the past he's been here, and you're not as opposed as you might think, Paul.
Again, I don't think that I'm opposed. This is what's so bizarre about this walk, is that at one point I thought Flow State and I were pretty much on the same page. Till, like everyone else, I find out through the grapevine he's talking shit and acting like a bitch, but won't do it in my face. You act like I'm the one who picks issues with these people and misaligns with them. They have issues with me and can't figure out what it is and talk about it.
Paul, in my direct experience with you, the issues I found were after you started with your attacks on my character and what you assumed to be my behavior. So I know I'm not alone in this. You have a pattern, Paul, of.
So what you're saying is you'll pretend to like me and respect me or hang out with me, and as soon as I say something you don't like, then out comes all the shit you were thinking all along. Exactly.
Paul, that is exactly what you do. Okay, you pretend to like someone until they say something you don't like, and then
no, I don't. Where do you get that? Where do you get that? How do you have it always? You guys say I'm arrogant, egoic, insufferable, all the things. Yet then you say I'm fake and pretend to like people when sometimes I scream on people their first appearance in front of me. So how do we have it always based on whatever you're feeling in the moment? It's bizarre.
It wouldn't be bizarre if you stopped to think about it. Okay, because if you listen to your own words, you make a lot of excuses in your
words. Why would I pretend to like someone? I either do or I don't. You think I pretend to like you on some level or care about you as a person? You think I pretend to do that?
No. Here, Paul, what I think, okay, my outside opinion is that you do care about me and many others.
Correct.
However, your mind is not clear. And as a result.
But this is where we always have an impasse. Is I think you're projecting onto me what you're actually experiencing, and I feel the same way about you. So what is going to be our mechanism to move past what just may be both of our projections onto each other, because maybe neither of us is apprehending reality correctly? I'm open to that. There's no way that I could see that with what I'm perceiving and could list for you. And every time I go to list, you and Flow State and everyone else cut me off, jump over me, throw me out, making me believe you see what I see and know it's true. You just won't cop to it.
Okay. I understand when you present what you see. Okay. I'm not denying what you see. What I have said to you, though, is, Paul, you've reached these conclusions, but you're ignoring other facts that should be considered when you're determining the value and character of me for results. I mean, Paul.
We're all entitled to our own value system, right? Like, correct. Whether we like it or not. We're all entitled to set our own value system, and then you got to stand on that. I can stand on mine.
Well,
Most people create a value system and then they hold it up against me and I go, this is laughable. Your value system is who's the politest, the kindest, who speaks the softest, who's the most politically correct. Great, you're a slave. I'm not.
some are.
You're
but don't
confusing your
assume-
selfishness for a value system. It's not.
Again, you're projecting with your toxic, feminine, presumptuous voice onto me. I don't
Okay,
have a
but the
selfish
word-
value system. Rights, freedom,
Well-
principles, and spiritual faith is not about me. It's an
Well,
experience that we can have or not. I choose to have it, others
Well-
don't. It's not about selfishness. That's
well,
you. You're projecting again. You're self-absorbed and
Paul.
self-serving, not me.
Paul, now that here, you mentioned there's a
You
possibility.
all go to work every day to pay your shitty bills, to live your
Paul.
shitty life with your shitty friends and family.
Paul.
I
Not
don't.
all of us can
I made
squat
my
with
whole
our
life
women
a
and drive us
mission
around.
that I've made good on in various ways. You haven't.
Wow. I need a pipe down.
You would like me to pipe down. You would
I
like
would like you to pipe down because,
then I could match your
Paul.
weak ass lukewarm fence riding energy.
or here, you mentioned, what if one of us is wrong? And you presented the case of why you're not selfish. You presented the defense. Now, there was a conclusion offered, and I'm not saying this is any sort of prosecution nor judgment, but this is a conversation. Now, you mentioned prior to the observation of patterns of selfishness, which I've pointed out to you as well, Paul, but I'm not here
Who
to
is
discuss
more
the
selfish?
selfishness.
Who is more selfish?
Let's come back to the
Let's
principle.
go to our track record and history on who's more selfish. Who does things based on their own motivation of what they're going to get and how they're going to be seen? Because that's been your rallying cry since day one. I've not said any of that.
So you've said, but again, your accusations are without facts, without
Right. Who's done more for a community, a state, the country, the universe, the land? Who's done more, would you think, between you and Flow State put together? Take a guess.
Hey, Paul.
While you work 20-year career jobs, paid slave tax, follow policy and code, and leave everywhere in bad standing, including your own family.
Paul,
Who do you think's done a little bit more for the creation of what we stand for?
Stop. This is not the Paul Unslaved rant and fucking blame and complain show. And Paul, we were getting along fine. Now, what we're seeing is the pattern of the ego. It felt cornered and accused because there was two witnesses pointing out a selfishness behavior. So the ego, what it does is it takes over and the emotional mouth just starts flowing. So Paul mentioned earlier about his claim of standing for rights, freedom, and property with the allegations that is not just his rights, freedom, and property, but again, I will call into observation his pattern of behavior. Rather than participate in a conversation, he feels his rights, his freedom, his existence is more important than everyone else. And that's not the case.
Well, he's
Go ahead, Paul.
I mean, he's scared. That's why I come up on panel and don't say a word, and he just cannot stop attacking.
I know. I see it. He gets emotionally triggered and lashes out, and it's part of his insecurity.
And I hear people all the time, or I hear him tell people regularly that they're scared of him, that they're running from him about arguing on stream. Really, nobody's like scared of blah 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 blah. I don't know, but there's no point in telling that to him because yeah.
Well, Flo, thank you. That brings us actually around to what I was trying to say to Paul about his He has a right to have his principles and his standards. Absolutely. Every one of us has the right for our own principles and standards. We do not have the right to impose those standards and persecute and judge people and slander people publicly because of our opinions of those standards. Paul unslaved. And I've tried pointing that out to you and Wizard both. Your opinions of me, your standards of me, do not excuse your insulting behavior. So, Paul, just like you have the right to have these values and principles for yourself and what you allow others to show in your experience, as do I. And
I
if
mean,
you can't,
let's be real. He doesn't have those things. He just decorates his ego with them.
well, actually, that kind of goes along with my thought earlier. Paul is the type that thinks he should be able to do whatever he wants, however he wants, with whoever he wants, right? And doesn't matter what others think as long as he can claim to be right. Well, then he claims that he wants the world to be like that. Everyone can do what they want, say what they want, be as insulting and disrespectful to everyone as they want. That's chaos. That's currently what we have today. There's a lot of people with power and influence because they've stacked up a lot of money. They're doing what they want. Are you?
My?
The world.
Oh,
Anyone watching, are you doing what you want? Are you living the life of your dreams?
So, Jack, what's the point of flow state and them talking about what would happen if we were all in the room together?
I don't know. I don't remember that happening today.
No, they're doing it right now in the chat.
Oh,
They
I
all seem
wasn't
to think
there.
that I wouldn't. They all seem to think we believe that they would speak how they speak here and do what they do here, and that I wouldn't.
I don't think you'd be
What's a
so
little more
arrogant.
likely, boys and girls?
Well, what would be likely is if you presented this arrogance and disrespect to me in person, I'd leave your ass behind just like I want to do here on the panel.
So you're
If you
emotional.
can't, no, I respect myself and the truth, Paul.
If you respect yourself and the truth, why do my words have so much power over your inner space
They
that you'd have to
don't.
fight or run from them?
No, Paul, you're misunderstanding. It's not that your words have power. It's that I respect my time more than your confusion. Your gaslighting.
So you're above
trying
it
to
all.
convince-
You're
No,
above it all.
I'm above your insults and your childlike behavior. I am above that. I think you froze.
did he? Or maybe you stunned him into silence for once.
No, I was hoping that was the case, but I think
He just had an epiphany. He's like, "Oh my God, I have been selfish."
he'll learn eventually. The world will. We're going through this shift. Allow the veil. I'm serious, brothers and sisters. Allow your veil of confusion, your veil of contempt and regret and guilt. Allow the darkness that's within you to fall. Because when you surrender, when you practice peace and stillness, you detach from everything that was, and then you can become a part of everything that is. This was a thought too. Become one with the here and now, right? That is the key to life, being here and now. But it's not just a complete here and now. You've got to expand what here and now means. What does here and now mean to you? For me, the now is this lifetime. It's everything I've experienced up to now and now with hopes for the future. And as far as the here, I'm here on earth. I'm sharing this experience with many other beings like me, who have it off. Many have it off a lot better than me. You know, there are fucking A. God works in mysterious ways, man. And there's some real asshats living lives of luxury and freedom. And I know a lot of damn good men and women who are like me, who, you know, growing in their own development, made some stupid choices in their past. And, or maybe devoted themselves in the wrong direction, pursuing an education that didn't pan out, or, you know, devoting time to a business or to a career that didn't turn out fulfilling. This life can bring a lot of opportunities for anything.
Hey, Jack, can I ask Flow State something? Why is he still typing about me in chat when I asked him before to just address me directly? He said he's not scared. Also, why when he was on a panel the other day, one of these panels, and a woman asked him if he was married, he said technically. Didn't sound too convincing.
Probably not technically, because I live in sin. We're not married, but we've been together long enough to be common law, probably. The reason that I don't address you directly is because you won't listen to it. If I thought that you would, I would.
So you've made a determination of what I will and won't do that gives you the perfect excuse to act like a bitch and continue to avoid an interaction with me, and continue to type about me when I'm up on panel with you. Okay.
No, I've actually
You're
tested
okay with
this
that.
theory. I've actually tested this theory several times.
Oh, you're a scientist. You've tested the theory and you've come to the conclusion.
There's a science to life, to understanding the patterns of ourselves and others.
Right. And he can't figure out that because he is everything he projects onto me, he's received a certain way and therefore mirrored back to, and that's why we can't get anywhere. Because he is presumptuous, judgmental, arrogant, and egoic. Has no reason to be because he has no accomplishments.
Wait, how do you compare in that
I just told you that when me and this person met, I had no interaction with him.
But today,
I just again extended the olive branch and offered him an ability to resolve, but he's made another excuse as to why he wants to continue on cycling, typing about me, but not addressing me directly.
But you're the one who's cycling. He's sitting here not.
Well, you asked me a question and I did address it. I answered your question. I said that you won't listen to it, and you responded with attacks, thus proving my point.
Right. Paul.
So you typing about what I said about Jack weeks ago has anything to do with what I just said, or you were just addressing me about it?
Oh my God.
That was like 3 days ago.
Paul. Whatever it is, it's the same thing so often. Who can keep track of it? Really?
I know you're constantly talking shit on Jack. Constantly.
Yes. Okay. Right. And so we're just going to do the thing where we choose to only see one side of it constantly.
Okay, that's exactly what you're doing. So Paul, how about explain to me, why do you choose to talk so much shit about me?
You can't even figure out, Jack, that once again we had an interaction in the beginning where I was being a dick purposely. You kind of just breezed right past it, handled it like a perfect gentleman in control of himself. We were kind of moving along.
I still am, and you're pushing.
No, you're not. You're emotional, and you're triggered, and you're hateful and bitter and resentful, and it's because a host.
Well, that's exactly what you are demonstrating. Holy crap. Earlier he was talking about this toxic feminine energy. And you could just hear his little bitchy whine voice, and I'm like, oh my God, dude. Paul,
this is why I don't bother trying to talk to him anymore.
That is where I'm finding myself. Paul, I've asked you repeatedly to look at your behavior, to try and find ways to adjust, but you're proud and arrogant. You want me.
He's a coward. He's way too scared to look at reality. He lives in a delusional fantasy land where everybody else does the things that he's doing. You and him were interacting reasonably well. For some reason, I don't know why you would be okay with him. But anyways, you guys were acting fine until I came up on panel and said nothing, and then he did exactly what he accused you of doing. So, Paul, grow some balls. Go back and review yourself objectively. And maybe after that, we can talk again about what my problem is with you. We can try it again.
You know, this is the truth. I mentioned earlier, there's something going on. Guys, my faith and my perspective and my words come from a man of great faith. And I spend a lot of time considering God and love and what this world might be for. I've said it before. Paul and I carry very similar stories, similar growth. We trigger people in different ways. And Flo, I see similarities between you and Paul and you and me.
I agree. There are similarities, but sometimes the conflicts are too big to overcome. And yeah.
Hey, thank you after the fact, Zach. I just saw part of this, but thank you. Yeah, this is nonsense for people like Moose and Nubs and Paul to tell themselves, I need disrespect every day. That's absurdity. It is absolute absurdity. Speaking of, though, we've got
probably got a whole backstage full of, hey, Tommy.
How you doing
need
today?
a second to figure out if this is Jack's panel or somebody playing my "Hi Paul, how's it going" video.
No,
We're still here.
This is me.
Well, I turned on Paul's channel to him watching that video, and seriously, for a second, thought you were just there on his panel until I heard the music. I turned on Paul's.
Oh, is he streaming again?
Hold on, I gotta turn my TV down.
I don't know what's going on with
you got that right.
Well,
you guys, I think I'm gonna have to do it, but you guys don't want me to make a video of the similarities between Paul and Jack, because I could do that. It's just I got a full plate as it is. People already telling me I don't finish shit on time. I'm not even making any promises. But if I really took all this time traveling and put the similarities between Paul and Jack, you'd both probably be surprised. Look at him acting like he's asleep when he's been a little trolly bitch on his channel all day.
Um,
Are you going to dictate some narrative for us, fella?
No, stop. This is not the pick a fight with Paul platform.
No, it is.
No,
That's
he's
usually
the
how
fight
it goes,
picker,
right?
dude.
But Paul,
We couldn't just do the Jack and Paul broadcast however it was going to go. It had to become the host state.
Well,
And
maybe
Jack
if you
Show
got cut in
with
for
the
half, you
defendant.
could.
All
Maybe
I'm
if you
saying
weren't
is,
keeping all the money from it, maybe you could do a team
here
up.
we go. I can't get in the room with Jack and court with him because all his broken hoe girlfriends come around to shit on me and call me a narcissist. I can't do it.
Isn't
Oh.
isolation?
Can't do it. He has
one
an
of the
insulated
forms of
line of
narcissistic
broken hoe
abuse?
girlfriends that won't let us interact. They're so jealous and envious. It's pathetic.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
What is real? Here, be patient, guys. What is real is you have not allowed the Paul and Jack or the Jack and Paul discussions, because if you look at what is true, Paul, you bring me this false narrative of who I supposedly am. You tell others, all your viewers, how you say all sorts of things about me, Paul. And you actually have the balls to be critical of other people doing that to you? Don't you see the signs? Don't you see the patterns of your life, Paul?
In what sense? In what ways?
You have others treating you with what you see as negativity, because that's exactly
right, but I don't respect the people who do that.
Right. You don't respect anyone.
Right. That's
Paul.
why they're treating me negative, because they know
Paul.
I don't respect them.
You,
The
Paul,
ones
this
who
is
treat me
Paul,
positively, we respect each other, and there's
what is
reason.
your no, Paul, this is the problem that you need to come to terms with, my brother.
No, respect is not entitled, it's earned.
Paul, your lack of respect brings forth your disagreements, your conflicts, your problems. You place yourself above others like a fucking clown.
No, I place
Yes,
the truth.
Paul, pride comes before fall. You, Paul, have placed yourself on this amazing fucking pedestal. And see, right now, Paul, the recent conversations, you're in the back because you don't allow dialogue. You don't consider what is said, which is precisely what Flow State said about you, and many others have said. And so right now, Paul, the problem is not Flow State. The problem is not Illuminati. The problem is not me. If we have a problem conversing right now, it's you.
It has to be. Has to be, because
Flow
how
is
could
gone,
you, right?
Tommy's
Like, just look at
gone.
the lineup. You, Flow State, and Illuminati are obviously very competent, credible people, right?
No, come to the now. Come to the here and now. Right now, it's just you and
sorry.
me.
Whoa.
Right? It's
I
right
was
now. It's just
off in
you
the
and me.
past in my
Why
imagination.
would you? Well, look at yourself. You want to blame someone who's not even right here. What?
You just spoke about them.
Yes, I said they are no longer here. It's just you and me. So if there's a problem with us being able to have conversations, you need to look at you, Paul.
Okay. So
Okay.
they're not here anymore, and we're going to move forward like we were before, just kind of kicking it back and forth. You know, I was razzing you a little bit. You just kind of let it roll off you. Jennifer commented, "Wow, Talcott must be like hopped up on edibles today. He's in a great mood." So I asked you, and you're like, "No." And I go, "Oh, well, maybe he's just kind of gotten away from the broken hose and the constant narrative that I offer him nothing and I'm a detriment to him. And maybe we can just kind of."
Still facts. Those are still facts.
Oh, well, I didn't feel that when I first came in with
Oh,
you. Then
I know, because let's point this out too.
I thought we were in the now, though.
Hey, Paul, you ignore my kindness, my gentle and
No, I was warming up with you. You couldn't feel that?
No. Right. You wanted to write
Yeah,
it
you
off.
abused me yesterday. You threw me out. I forgot all that.
No,
I forgave all that. I came back today. I kind of teased you a little bit.
Paul, when are you going to find humility for your backbiting, your disrespect?
I did that.
Your selfishness. No, you did not do that today, and you're continuing your pattern. So, Paul, I'm going to wrap you up. Please continue on your day. I think you and I are done. Do you want one last try?
So I'm confused. This is where I get lost. You tell me to get in the now, I get in the now. I ask you if I do something now, you tell me I don't. Then you throw me out for getting mad at you not being in the now while you told me to stay in the now. I don't understand how to even proceed with that, because we're hanging out in the now. We're having a back and forth.
Right. Paul, accept the fact, your confusion, because you don't know. You're right. I understand that. But it's because of that narrative that you focused on. You wanted to find fault and blame outside of yourself without finding responsibility.
I did that just now?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, well, I didn't even know that I just did that.
Well, please, I've been trying to point out your behavior for months now.
So why can't you just keep me here and help me through this? Instead of keep calling me narcissistic and egoic and say I can't be treated, I might be a complete insane, crazy person who's been broken and traumatized. And instead of you all loving me and learning to lead me where I'm at, I just keep getting fucking thrown out, cast aspersions upon. I don't know. I don't even know where to go with this. Like, imagine what it's like being me.
Paul, what you're describing.
Right.
It's exactly the life I've been living for 5 years. And I agree. I don't want to throw you away. I don't want to walk away from you. I don't I don't know what to do to resolve disagreements with you or anyone else. I've been asking for people to help mediate, to help try. Paul, you and I, I swear, I can help you and you can help me, but it's not in the ways that you've been thinking.
You want to sleep together, don't you?
No, I'm beyond the physical, dude. I am so caught up in the emotional, the mental, the spiritual essence of life, dude. The experience. I don't want to experience sex with you, though, Paul.
Oh, that's kind of disappointing. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, that's been my walk, you know. While I am a sex symbol, when you get right down to it, I'm just, you know, too powerful for most people.
I know.
While it is disappointing, I accept your personal choice to opt out. No means no.
You know, hey, I'm never is not. I don't commit to nevers.
All right, a maybe's kind of a yes in my book, so watch it.
But,
Don't get frisky with me.
Here, that's the thing, though, is I am confident in my, I don't know, dude. Tell you what.
Whatever.
Well, the future, hey, I never thought my future would end up like this. Nothing like this. I'm just sitting here
I can relate to that.
On the panel with Paul Unslaved with Flow State in the back. I mean, what am I doing?
Yeah, but even just look at that statement, right? I'm on a panel with Paul Unslaved, who I have 2 more people who want me to come to their broadcast to make it infinitely better. I'm on the panel with Paul Unslaved on my broadcast, and Flow State's in the back. You see how that sounds? It's like we could be doing so much, yet there's loser failures in the back who require our attention and keep trying to enable your failure with me.
Actually, I actually believe Flo has good intentions.
No, the whole chat has been telling you the whole chat has been telling you, and I've been telling you that these are okay. That's the thing. Well, how do we work if you can't even trust my discernment and everyone else because you got a reason why he's in your corner and everyone else is culted up and brainwashed? Good luck with that. Good luck with that narrative.
Well,
the fact that you can't even see this for what it is shocking to me.
Paul, the fact you can't consider my narrative.
He just doesn't like me. Tommy doesn't like me. They don't like me.
I don't think
they respect me. If we were in the room, they'd shut their mouth out of pure fear. But you know, they fear me or respect me, but they don't like me because I'm an asshole. And I purposely play that online even more up than I am in real life. Because in real life, I just stay to myself and stay out of everybody's way unless you cause me problems.
Paul, let me point this out to you, please. Okay, just like you said,
I don't respect them, right? They respect me. I don't respect them.
No,
and I know they don't like me, so I turn up on them just to bring the bitch and the hater out of them, and it works every time.
Paul, when you offer disrespect, people do not respect you.
But that's the thing. It doesn't work like that, right? If you really are humble, like you all say you are, like how we came up, we be in a group with folks who've done certain things and have a certain position, and it's evident, right? And rather than call everyone else culted up, you just try to earn that respect. You don't go to saying, oh, I didn't get all the respect I was entitled to. I'm going to act like a bitch and a hoe for the rest of this interaction. Nah, you just get that, or you don't.
That is what.
No, I'm not. I told you every single day I come here, we could start over. Why are you constantly talking over me?
Because
you're constantly talking.
That's the point. You're so scared it's going to become the Paul Unslaved show.
No, Paul, here's the point. We have disagreements with you. Now you're so set and convinced you keep repeating and defending yourself.
Why do you have to agree with me to work with me?
You present as disagreeable. You don't allow agreements. It's fucking impossible.
Why do you have to agree with me to be on panel with me and take it through from beginning to end one day instead of act like a bunch of controlling bitches who are emotional?
All because I have the right to be me without
Right, because
your
I can.
constant
Another bitch logic move.
patterns. Well, do you see what happened? Flo came up here sitting silently. I don't think you even said anything when you came back, did you? And Paul's just total energy change.
Yep.
Lack of self-control, lack of self-awareness, perhaps. I mean,
all of the above. He doesn't do anything intentionally, but he claims he does. He can't help himself at all. But I mean, he had a valid point, which is, why don't you help me?
I know.
Do you remember that?
I've been trying.
Which is why I try not to talk shit on him or try not to spiral with him on these things, because like I recognize that his bullshit is more of a problem for him than it is for anybody else around him, except for maybe you or Jennifer.
Dude.
She's probably hostage, but anyways.
Well, Flo, I agree. If we've got someone in our community, our family, who's behaving inappropriately, why aren't we helping him? I see Paul as part of this community, and I would like to help him. But what we're seeing is, because of Paul's opinions, because Paul has chosen to believe, and his flying monkeys have enabled his belief, that I'm just, well, the narrative of me is not clear, but it is quite insulting. So anyway, Paul has no respect, and you won't learn from someone you don't respect. Not very well. So since Paul doesn't have respect for others, he doesn't really learn from others, even when kind people are offering him help and honest feedback. So
you can't force people to accept help. So
you can't even avoid being passive aggressive while he bullshits everyone. It's amazing.
Actually, I don't see that at all. I see him presenting as very kind.
Jennifer's being held hostage when he then said right before, the only thing he agrees with is trying to help me. Isn't it interesting? The one thing he agrees with was the one thing I was obviously bullshitting. See, you don't even know when I'm bullshitting.
That's demonstrative of your foolishness, Paul. You are in denial.
I think that was actually the only honest thing that broke through. But of course, now that it's got a light shined on it, it's got to go away. Now
it's content. Now it's part of the character. It's an excuse. He doesn't accept responsibility for anything he says. And that's the example he's presenting to other people in our society who do look up to him for whatever reason.
Yeah, there's a lot of... I don't know how people keep falling for that, honestly. Like, I'm trying not to talk shit. I'm trying to express myself without shit talking. So I'm just going to shut up.
I see that. Hey, Flo, respect. I respect and I see what you're doing. You're trying not to join into gossiping and
I've said before that I believe in the was it law of attraction, right? So I try not to put out this sort of bullshit because I don't want it invading all parts of my life. I'm fine with it quarantined to here, but
hey, respect.
Jack, I'm not mad, but I'm just saying, man, I don't do this backstage thing anymore because it's my time. Like, if you want me to leave, I'll just leave, but I'm not going to sit in backstages waiting unknowingly if I'm coming back or not. I can partake or I cannot partake.
Okay, but sometimes I don't know what you're bringing, and I don't always want what you're bringing. So,
unless I'm Paul, I know. So, a word on what he was saying about respect. It is true that among us as individuals, you have to earn a respect, but then us as a society, you don't just go out on the street and disrespect everyone you don't know that hasn't earned any with you. You have to give a mutual respect. And then once relationships start, you must run tabs on that earned respect. But for Paul to say shit like, no one's earned my respect, or I'm only supposed to be humble before the creator, being humble is not for me to be among my fellow men, he's a narc, man. He's a fucking narc.
I don't agree with the conclusion.
Yeah, because you're still partly his victim.
Super chat.
Yeah, you should check out the link I dropped in the comments earlier.
It's just like when he says everyone's jealous. That's narc AF. That's textbook narc to say, oh, they hate me because they ain't me. They jealous. And then you even see the cult follow through with every discrepancy between two panelists. Oh, he's just jealous. Like, dude, come on. I've blown him away in economic growth, physical fitness. What am I jealous of?
Tom.
I probably had more STDs than he's had partners.
Tom.
And he and Jennifer are co-enabling. There's nobody else.
How many times do I have to ask for someone to interrupt themselves? I mean, what would be fair or reasonable?
What's that? I was zoning out.
Well, I was trying to get a word in when Tommy was continuing on.
I mean, personally, I would have let him cook a little bit longer, but I mean, he does need to figure out how to manage that conversation having. What are you shaking your head at? Oh,
thank you for the contribution numbers dropping. That's not my intention. This is part of what I'm trying to get people to understand. Welcome, Tarek. We don't have to be in this.
Jack.
Let me finish this thought, if I may. We
No, I'm sorry.
don't have to be in this egoic pattern of constant competition. Competition creates division. There's healthy competition and unhealthy competition. Here on a platform, when we're just trying to have some conversations, what is the competition about? So Paul is gesturing. God bless you, brother. What?
I'm submitting. I'm submitting. Hey, what I want to know is, why do you and Flow State have to be a tag team constantly? Like, why can't I just have my way with him and his bullshit without you throwing me out?
Yeah, I should let him know. Yeah.
And I'm not here for just if there was resolution. And actually, I've seen Flo being pretty restrained.
So you still don't see the value in actually just taking the interactions through. You still think that your ego is more important than what the rest of us are doing here.
Paul, I have seen you looping for months, and unfortunately, I've not seen willingness for you to resolve.
Do you realize that he just did it again? Like before, he did it again. He really thinks that when I was doing this and saying, maybe I need you to just love me and teach me and guide me, he thought I was in a moment of passion, admitting something that is obvious to him. Well, then he's now projecting that I'm going back and lying about it to cover it up because it was such a moment of revelation. This is how disconnected he is and how lacking in discernment he is. Jennifer's laughing and cracking up here. Jennifer's laughing and cracking up here as watching the whole process and how easily manipulatable and suggestible you are, and how lacking in discernment you are, and how you just project shit, make up narrative. She's fascinated by
fucking continue. You ask, why don't I let it air out? This is why I don't let it air out, Paul. Because you get going and that little bitch energy just keeps flowing. Welcome, Steve. How you doing today, brother?
What's going on, everybody?
Normal shit.
Typical let's talk about Paul panel.
Let's talk about Paul panel.
But guys, this is what I truly, as a man, do not understand. I've gone back. People have asked in the chat, Jack, do you go back and listen to your words? Yeah, I do, actually. And I listen to my monologues. I talk about my praise, my devotion to God, my love of mankind, my love of the future. I talk about a lot of great things. And today's topic, practicing peace. I even offered explanations and observations of the mind, body, spirit. And Paul once again brings this nonsense to me. So it's like, I think this is actually my life. What the fuck do I do
burnt
with
out
this?
on meth.
What do I do with this?
Sorry, me and Jennifer were just
Paul knows
discussing
nothing
how
of peace. Paul is nothing but chaos. He wants to bring his girlfriend in like she has any respect. Like we give two shits about her, what she thinks. Fuck her. Fuck you, Paul.
Okay.
Get your chaos out of here. Be positive. Why can't you be positive? Why are
Is
you
this
always
being
sucking
positive
dick all day?
Is this
not
being
at all.
positive?
This is you, buddy.
No.
This is what you do.
Is
You don't
this
like it?
positive? All this?
It's mirroring
You're
you,
starting
Paul.
it, right?
I
It's
started all
hypocritical,
this?
right? Yeah.
Yes, you did.
It was
Of
that
course you
easy to
did.
get a bunch of grown men to come out of character? Wow, maybe that's why we're enslaved.
Who's out of character? Who's
Oh,
out
so
of
this
character?
is your character.
Hey,
Okay.
Actually, Steve.
Yeah, fuck you. I mean, that's
Okay, great. So now
when
what?
I meet another asshole,
You're
I'm
still
an asshole
mad
to that
weeks
asshole.
later. Weeks later, I
Not
haven't
at
talked to you. You're
all.
still holding a grudge, acting like an emotional triggered bitch. So now
No,
what?
you're a little boy. You're a little boy. You don't.
Well,
trigger
what are
me
you going to do
whatsoever.
about it?
You're the one who's triggered.
Nothing.
Am I-
You're
are
going
you
to
gonna
talk
get mad now that I'm
online and
talking
catch
over you?
feelings over
Are you
it
gonna
like
get
a
mad that I'm
hoe because I
talking over
said
you
something
now,
about
Paul?
your goofy wife who you're not happy
in the
with.
back,
Can we
Jack.
Sorry.
Can we talk to Jennifer since she's laughing at us? Can we
Yeah.
talk to Jennifer?
Put him in the back, Jack.
I think Jack will decide that, not you, Steve.
Well, hold on. Hey.
Well, no,
Tarek,
they want to have power.
I choose. I do listen and I pay attention. Steve, thank you. Thank you for the things you were pointing out, for the reflection you were offering, but I don't want that. That's his world, right? He's comfort in that.
Exactly.
Exchange.
Yeah, you guys
Thank
got to
you for
pretend to
showing
be
us.
above it.
He hates
No,
being treated
Paul.
the way he treats other people.
You guys got to
He
pretend to
hates
be above it now. Uphold your
Paul,
image
no,
holier than
actually,
thou. Uphold the
Paul,
image.
Paul, actually, look. Open your eyes and accept what is truthfully being revealed to you right now. Okay? I actually consider the four men on here, even though I've had disagreements with every one of these men up here, I hold them with more respect in their presentation of a man than you do, Paul. You're living in the past. Let's see what's happening right now and see what the future can reveal.
As Steve yells at me emotional about the past when I have had no interaction with him now today. That's fascinating logic.
It was actually a helpful display of behavior. It was a helpful experience.
Of course.
Experiment.
Yeah,
Science.
whenever anyone does what I do out of actually being angry and hateful, it's a great mirror. When I do it to trigger you and show how that's who and what you are, it's bad and wrong. Great.
Well,
great logic.
Paul, can you not find the bad and wrong in what you do? Never. You don't make any mistakes in your efforts to offer people triggers.
Such as?
Never. Well, what I've been trying, you've chosen that pattern for yourself to offer everyone, to let them see their weaknesses, and
not everyone.
Okay, only all the people that I've seen.
Just the people here right now is what you mean.
Well, only
barring Tarek, by the way.
Interact with
just you three.
Well, right. You've got
and people like you, by the way. Yep, absolutely.
How's it going?
That's what you get, Paul. You sit there and want to talk over everybody, and then as soon as someone opens their mouth, you got to open your mouth and complain like a whiny little boy that you are. Why are you talking over me? We're trying to communicate and have a dialogue here, but you can't stand it because you can't stand to be told that you're wrong about something. Because guess what, Paul? You're never wrong about anything, right? You're perfect.
I mean, you're entitled to feel however you want to.
Monogamous relationship you're in right now.
You're entitled to feel however you want to feel. I don't know what that has to do with. If we're going to exchange our point of view, why we have to talk over each other, then I get thrown out when I talk over someone. It's constantly a double standard.
You can go.
You're doing it
now.
You're doing it now from all directions.
Paul, you have a pattern, okay? And Steve's showing you back some of your pattern, and I'm encouraging you. Take a look and ask, what's the value? You know,
I don't understand. I'm not sitting there making judgments about the value you are. I'm just responding.
Right, Paul. We're asking you.
If he's showing me who and what I am, I'm.
Paul, you don't
doesn't get it.
listen. We don't get anywhere, Paul, when you refuse to allow dialogue. And if the only way I can have dialogue is to put you in the back, well, that's not real fucking efficient.
I'm pretty sure dialogue is between two people, so you're going to have to pick your representative.
Okay,
It can't be a quadro.
Hey, Paul, you don't dictate the reality. You don't control me. I trust these guys are being patient. They have been patient. I trust you and I can have a dialogue. Just pay attention to me, Paul.
Dialogue, a conversation between two or more people.
My attention, I got ADHD. I'm on record with that. And I was just paying attention to you, and he went mumbling over and under you, and it just
my goodness.
Dialogue.
Really slow. He's doing it again. You were talking, he's talking, so I don't know where to look now.
I know. Let's
he's doing it again. You're both talking.
Flo, go ahead. What were you saying?
I was just reading the definition of dialogue is a conversation between two or more people.
I wanted to keep it simple, try and get Paul to just see, is it possible for Paul to have a dialogue with one other person? Is there anyone you'd be willing to have a dialogue with, an actual conversation, man to man, without fucking competing about opinions and bullshit?
Yeah, I'd be open to have a dialogue with each one of you, one at a time, if you're able to get that done.
Well, here's the thing, Paul. I've been attempting to have a dialogue. I've asked you for it. I've explained my simple definitions. I've asked for your cooperation, and so far it's you, like others, have been unwilling to cooperate with me. So I don't fault you. Not long ago, when Z was on your panel, he asked you a good question about who you admire. Because, Paul, when you walk around seeing a world full of people you look down on, people who are less than you, bunch of fools and infidels, when you walk around in that world, that probably doesn't feel very good. And I don't like what you've been offered, the fruits, the bitterness that have been offered from you. I don't appreciate that, Paul. And I trust, dude, you're so much fun when you're not angry. But your standards, your opinions bring your insult and your negativity. How do we have fun? How do we communicate? I mean,
you realize you're on your third or fourth question and second or third statement. So you're just spilling on me right now. And it's really not going anywhere.
I took advantage of your patience. Please.
Well, you always do that. And then when I go to speak, you cut me off and tell me that I have to focus on your nonsense and your feelers. So I don't know.
Panel.
So Jack, can I say something real quick? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Can I say something real quick, though?
Please. Okay.
If you and Jack already have a disagreement and you know that, right? And you guys have been working on your, to get along. Why would you think it'd be healthy for Steve and somebody else to all attack him and not let him talk? I don't think that's healthy.
Tarek, have you not seen what happens when I go to Paul's platform? Holy fuck, it's just a gauntlet, one after another. Interrupt, attack, interrupt, insult, interrupt. Dude, so
I see it.
And then over here as well.
Appropriate, right, but it's a perfect demonstration for Paul of what he is personally offering to others. And if you see, maybe Paul feels that way too, that others were ganging up on him. Hey, welcome to my experience, Paul. It's not
so we're doing behavior. So we're doing behavior that is less than someone's crackling and scraping.
Tarek.
So we're doing behavior that is less than desirable. You guys have the moral high ground, and rather than raise everybody up and show everybody how it should be dealt with, you choose to go down to a level and mirror it back. Isn't that
There's been no
fascinating?
communication with you at any of the higher levels. So I appreciate this effort to come down to your level and get your fucking attention.
Right.
It's up to you to level up.
And sometimes you
Let's
got to
Level up to what
fire,
exactly?
right? Let's
Now I
level
have
up.
3 people just yammering at me.
No, you
I've
don't.
barely spoken the whole time I've been up here.
Poor Paul.
Well,
Whiny
I'm not
Paul,
whining.
right?
I'm not victiming.
Paul,
It's just
Yeah,
not a
don't-
productive.
that's
It's just
whining.
not a productive conversation if there's 3 people all just
Yeah.
just enabling each other and verifying whatever each other says without
actually,
even
I
listening to what
see-
I'm saying.
Actually,
It's
Paul,
so
I
ironic.
see four
No,
men
right.
up here who care about you, who care about this world, men who have family values and moral values for themselves. And you can see it as there's this dysfunction and this problem and everyone's ganging up on you, or you can see that there
I
are
didn't
men
say
who
anyone was
care.
ganging up on me. I said it's an unproductive interaction. You said
Okay.
you wanted to talk with
Right.
me.
Okay, so
Why do
Let's
they
come
keep
back.
interjecting? Can they not control themselves?
hey Paul, how about come back to the conversation? Rather than interrogate about behavior that you don't like, let's come back to the topic of conversation.
What was the conversation topic?
Well, primarily your behavior and the
Of course.
ability that we could have conversations and discussions. Okay.
Okay.
The most recent was, we covered how the appearance could be that you're being attacked. I want you to recognize and consider how my experience might have been.
I don't feel
on
attacked,
many
so you don't
occasions.
have to try to bond with me over that.
Okay. Well,
You feel attacked
you
and
think, tell you what, Paul, that one was just because out of frustration. That was my ego weakness because I wanted a moment to think. So Paul is up here offering criticisms of the inefficiency because multiple people talk at the same time. He never seems to own up to that problem on his own.
Tarek,
Tarek.
Yeah. Yep.
You
Your mic is an
unmuted with
issue.
noise. What's
Oh, you mean? Oh, okay. If you go ahead, mute it. I guess if you want me to mute, I'll mute it.
well? If you got something to pop in with, please feel free. But
No,
you
I'm
brought
just
me-
saying. I came in a little bit late. What was the topic? You guys were starting off good, then I had to get in my car, and then all of a sudden, it went haywire.
Hey, Tarek, thank you. The topic actually, practicing peace. The idea of caring, the self-love of caring for mind, body, and spirit. Exercise and rest, learning and meditation, and prayer and service. Service is the actions that I think a lot of people have forgotten. Tarek, that audio, dude,
What's
you're real. Whoops.
Your mic is
Oh.
dragging on your shirt or something.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second. I'm sorry. Oh, how about that?
I don't know. We'll
Oh,
see. Time will
it's-
tell.
So that was the topic, though, the idea of health. And really, when you can find more health in your body, more comfort, more flexibility, more mobility in your physical body, in your mind, and in your spirit, man, life is peaceful. Life is filled with gratitude. It's filled with joy, pleasures, opportunities. Guys, what I found for myself is when I bring my mental and physical state into a place of peace, finding intentionally peace within, absence of conflicts, absence of negativity. When I find peace within, I'm telling you guys, the world shows itself in a different way. Literally, what year? This is 2023, so 7 years ago. 2016. No, I was just getting sober then. I used to live a life where I was in misery, depression, discomfort in my physical being. I was overweight, unhealthy, living a life of limitation, and it was miserable. Today, guys, today, what I've learned, what I've found, the life we want, it is all discovered within. Because the joy you want is within, the love you want is within, everything you want comes from within. And what we find within us is what we can share. So if you want to see what's within you, see what you're offering to others.
Mhm.
Guys, here's something I'd like you to consider. It is a pleasure to know all of you, to meet all of you, for our paths to have crossed. And I really am grateful to know all of you. In this life experience, though, I was thinking about this today. I truly am a very gentle man. Okay? I'm an advocate for peace. I don't even hurt the spiders and bugs I find in my house anymore. I mean, I literally I don't cause harm. And my reputation though is that, well, like Paul says, I'm not to be trusted, I'm deceitful, I have nothing to offer. I also have the reputation of being too dangerous to work for the United States Postal Service. And I'm also considered a danger to my son and my community, according to the public opinions of many others. This
I'm
doesn't
banned
make
from eBay for life, so it's cool. Don't worry about it.
this doesn't make sense, man. But this is the life we're living. And so here's a lesson I think for me. Things are not always as they seem. Go ahead, Steve. What were you saying?
Well, I understand what your message is and where you try to get it to go daily, but when it comes to dealing with someone like Paul, who literally has nothing but other intentions of belittling you or putting you down or making you feel inferior for whatever your views are, whatever your accomplished are or aren't, um, I really want you to kind of look deep down and say to yourself, I don't give a fuck what he says about me. Because when you do that, you take his power away and he's a fucking nobody. He's just a little boy that can't take care of himself and he's online and he thinks that he's somebody and it's all fake. It's not real. So I'm just
Jack
waiting
knows
for
that.
you to show that. Like, I understand why you bring him up here. I know you want to try and you keep trying. You just want to get through to him. I get it. But at some point in time, you're gonna have to say enough is enough. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't bring anything good to you whatsoever. All he does is belittle you and berate you and anybody else that he can, because that's what he does. He's a triggerer, right? Master manipulator, narcissist, hypocrite.
Steve, you're right.
You see that.
And
You see that. I just want to make sure you see that, though.
yes,
It's not like a name calling
no,
or
it's
this is a bitch
no,
fest on him like he thinks, right? Okay. I just want to
no.
make sure.
I don't see that. My God.
Well,
We know
Tarek,
you don't.
Steve's not the only one who's offered me that honest observation, and I'm not blind to it. Okay, over the recent past, over the week or whatever, I have not been visiting Paul's platform. Um, even in the chat, I really don't tune in much anymore. And here the universe brings my options online and in real life. I keep reaching out for people that I want to have conversations with and have some deep discussions with. Steve, it's not lost on me, but what I was saying here, if I may, what I was saying works for me and Paul. Things are not always as they seem. I know Paul I know the disrespect. I know the negativity. I know the damages that have been done to my reputation and my character as a result of our shared experiences. But I also do know that there's been times where he's listened. I like to think that maybe even I have offered some sort of influence to him as far as calming him down. But at some point, right, Steve? At some point, you gotta, kick the dust off the sandals, so they say.
Jack, one point to Steve, just to answer to Steve and to you a little bit. I know you say Jack is narcissistic and he's nobody and stuff like that. And I never said Paul was God or he's perfect. Never. Everybody makes mistakes, and we're all kind of learn a little by little. I just said I think Paul is just on a different level in awareness and intuition, right? But don't you think, Steve, that Jack and Paul has so many things from the past? I'm talking about like a year ago, from now, have piled up that have not been resolved till now, and that's why I think Jack is just, when you hear his voice a little loud, he's just passionate. It's not, he's not always triggering. I know he triggers sometimes. He's very smart, but that's not the point. I think him and Jack have a lot of things they have to talk about, and they're not getting through to each other. It's not mainly about disrespect.
It's manipulation. From point one, Paul has groomed Jack to be some type of content creator that he can go to his channel and have endless content to make fun of. You literally will be on Paul's panel while they're rallying in the corral of how they're going to come over here and fuck with him. So give me one reason of why Jack shouldn't feel the way he feels about Paul.
Go ahead. I'll answer that. I'm not saying Jack shouldn't feel some type of way with some of the crowd that attack him sometimes if they're on his channel. But I feel like the same thing happens here sometimes too, where they all attack him. So it's going back and forth. He's defending his point of view. Jack is defending his point of view. And that's not healthy. So what I'm trying to say is the only thing I see is Paul is more patient. Even though he's got. Hold on. I know. Let me explain. Let me explain why I'm telling you. Let me explain. He's more patient. I know. Hold on, Jack. Just my opinion. He's more patient because when you see him talk loud, he's just a passionate guy about what he feels, what he stands for. It's not mainly he's mad.
Tarek.
Yeah.
No disagreements there. However, that man says a lot, and he does not accept accountability for his words. He doesn't accept responsibility for being truthful, for being accurate. And Tarek, for you to claim, Tarek is also, Tarek and I have had discussions and disagreements regarding leadership.
Yeah. I respect you, Jack. I respect everybody.
Well, what I know is that Paul has a lot to learn. He could learn a lot from a man like me. But unfortunately, Tarek, what he's found is a lot of people attracted to his arrogance and his anger. People like you who admire that take control and take charge and be dominant. That is a weakness that a man can overcome. A man can show his strength without imposing and belittling and insulting others. That is what I'm showing, Tarek. Okay. And Flo, Jack needs to reflect on why he is taking advantage of the situation. Converting Paul is an ego fixation, and I have considered that, Flo. You're actually very observant sometimes. You
received that way better than I expected you to.
Well, it's something I've actually considered. Is it my ego or is it my spirit that has kept me coming back to Paul?
Right? I think it's the ego and the spirit justifies it because, I mean, if the history is a predictor of the future, we know every day that this isn't going to work.
Well, here.
We're hoping.
it was my spirit that guided me, because I was praying to God, God, what do I do? What are my options? You know,
And that's
I
when the
go through
devil
my
visited.
list. Well, and then I'd end up, I've got time, I can spend time being entertained. And so I'd go and hang out for the purpose of entertainment.
Which is
And
fine.
I did go over there quite a bit, but I did wonder, both in my ego and my spirit, I know my purpose. I know what I have studied. I know the healing and transformative power that truth can bring to a human being. And so I thought, well, I've also shared that I've strengthened myself. I've grown in emotional intelligence. I've overcome some of the triggers from Paul, Wizard, and others. So what if Paul is like a final boss, like Tommy's video was? What if Paul and Wizard were this development for me to learn how to communicate more effectively without getting riled up, so that when I do get invited to Washington, D.C., I represent the truth in a more dignified fashion?
Well, do you want me to answer that, or was that rhetorical? Because it looks
It's
like
what I
you're not
think would
focused.
happen.
I think that you're focusing on a narrative to validate what you're wanting to do instead of focusing on what your end goal is. I don't know what you tell yourself your end goal is, but no matter what it is, it's not going to be served by looping every day with somebody who drags your name from the mud, whether you're there or not, and then won't let you have a live stream without him and his little cronies invading it, right? So that serves no goals long term.
Well, part of this is retribution. It's not just here's where I'm at. Over the past several years, there's been many accusers, many challengers, many doubters. People want to convince me I'm a failure or I'm a danger or whatever. Many people have come into my life in opposition, and I know for a fact they're wrong. So the way I see it is, Paul, by his choices, has created a very public example of an ego. You know, he's an he suffers from egotism, where his mind, he's replaced God in his life. He's very prideful, but he doesn't accept responsibility. He's an example of the Antichrist. Okay. It is.
Oh, that's not,
that took an aggressive turn.
That's not.
Okay.
You can't say that.
Tarek, will you stop being such a simp for Paul for a second?
Go ahead.
The definitions of words reveal what is true and what is not. Okay. So within us is both the Christ and Antichrist potentials. Okay. We have the potential and capacity to offer love and light and encouragement and forgiveness and mercy and compassion. We can offer all of those things, or we can withhold that from others, say, you're not worthy of my respect. I don't need to listen to you. You don't have an opinion that's worthy of even considering. That is prideful ignorance that reveals Paul's foolishness. And the pride comes before the fall. And to be honest, Flo, yep, part of my ego, the Jack who spent his life fucking fighting bullies and standing up to bullies all my life, part of me wants to see.
I get it. It makes total sense. I'm just saying it's a self-indulgent thing. It's not a discipline thing.
Well, but it's also for the greater good.
No, it's not. That's justification.
Please, hold on, please.
Okay.
For the greater good, if Paul took his position where he has risen in, he's got a reputation and people have known his name.
Of what?
Well, of being someone who stands up loudly. Okay. So he's found himself into a position where many people consistently, day after day, tune in, contribute, offer him support. He is in a leadership position, but he's conditioned like a boss. He expects everyone to be subservient to him, to worship him, to be grateful for his just mere presence. He's an arrogant prick. But if that young kid found humility in himself, actually strengthened the heart for service rather than entertainment, if he spent his time and attention trying to improve his life and trying to change the world, he could. I want him to try and do that. Sorry.
But he has to want to do it himself.
Yep.
And in my experience, people who are stuck in that mindset only get unstuck by hitting rock bottom.
I know that is the case, and that's the way the past has been. Everyone lets everyone go to the bottom, but
you can't force them to bypass it like you've been trying to. And
I know.
So, Flo, I mean, I've been to rock bottom. I know that you've been to rock bottom, and it's just something you got to kind of bounce from. You have too. Okay, Tarek
yeah,
has
I've been to rock bottom. Oh yeah.
Here's the thing. I was a high bottom in my experience. Whatever.
Just a funny sounding phrase.
But we reach these levels of plateau as well. Even after we've bounced back a little bit, it's real easy to get comfortable again and then to stop growing. Well, my intention and my purpose is growth, and it's to share growth, to encourage growth with others. And here's where I'm at, like it or not. Paul, God, I love and admire the young man, but he is an example of many other people in my life. Most of the others, though, don't even allow me a conversation. There's zero interaction. So I try and resolve with people who I can.
It seems to me like you're sacrificing your reputation in order to win the ego fixation.
It's possible, but my reputation's already been destroyed. I mean, seriously, according to public record, I'm a criminal, I'm a danger.
But that shit rolls off the internet after a few years. I think 3 years, you probably can't even find my mugshot anymore.
Well, I'm not so worried about the reputation, honestly. This is part of the illusions of our society. And honestly, it's what I hope to help the world overcome. This illusion of reputation. Reputation builds celebrity. It builds authority. Next thing you know, these people are being believed, not because of anything that's true, but just because of who the source is.
But not always. You don't think that Catch Me Outside has got authority, or people would listen to her because she's famous, right? Remember that chick on Dr. Phil?
Yeah, she's just saying that. It's a phrase that went went good for her.
No, but you know where it came from, right? The chick, like the little girl that's ratchet on. Yeah. I guess the point I was trying to illustrate is that not all visibility helps credibility.
Yeah, but the visibility you get from Paul is a negative one. Digging up dirt on Jack, inciting everybody who's following his channel, all the people in his chat, inciting them to feel the same way Paul feels. And that's why they're here in the chat now saying all the derogatory things. It's ridiculous, right? So you're not going to change Paul ever. He is the guy that made up in his mind. He can't learn anything from anybody else to be smarter for himself, right? He's just the smartest one there is in the room. He's the loudest one that's in the room. What are you going to do? You're going to go crazy trying to think that you're going to get to him. It's impossible. I mean, now I know this is a shit show, Jack, with, we're talking about Paul, and I wanted to address a couple people in the chat, Thomas specifically, because of my name change. Everybody knows me at D214, right? Remember when I first came on the scene? Well, that was a channel that I had that I just didn't even think of. That was just what I named it. And after being on these panels, Paul's panel, other panels, and being treated the way I was because of my name, I was very subjective, right? Like I just had my mind made up. I was very closed-minded, and going through this whole process, it's opened my mind, and that's why I've changed my purpose, right? So here you've seen that I changed from be good, do good, right? Because I was like, I'm tired of this hatred. I want to be good, do good. Let's spread that word. And then it turned into head motherfucker charge of me, because now I'm like, I'm in charge of myself. Fuck what anybody says. But it did help me. You know what I mean? And it can help everyone else because you can assess yourself, right? Paul can't do that. Paul can't change himself. He can't assess himself and say, I need to change this. I need to do better. He just can't do it.
He could. He could.
How do you know
if
that?
he becomes, because everyone can, Tarek.
You know, I'm
Everyone.
asking Steve. How do you know he can't change? That's not a fact.
Oh,
Well, clearly you haven't watched him, Tarek. You literally know
Right.
nothing about Paul. You've watched him for 2 days, watch him for a year, and you'll see it's the same thing over and over. Same thing over and over. Nothing changes.
I've been watching him for a
Nothing.
year.
Well, then you
Tarek,
must
or
not
more.
be paying attention.
here.
You're not paying attention.
Do you view
Tarek-
yourself as a
Tarek-
sidekick, or are you your main character in your own mind?
I'll let Jack talk. I respect that. Go ahead. I ain't say nothing, Steve.
Well, Tarek, you've been in it. You're part of the confused, and there's something, I don't know what it is. It's maybe spiritual or energetic, but there's something I've seen that people come across Paul, and then the next thing you know, they're like, he does no wrong. You guys,
never
everyone
said
is
that.
wrong who criticizes Paul. Everyone else is wrong. Hey, I want to, Jimmy Shively, God bless you. I don't know you. But you claim that I'm at rock bottom and you've only seen one trying to actually help. Respectfully, I trust that is respectfully offered, but who do you think has actually tried helping? If you claim it's Paul, Paul helps himself. Paul's rights, Paul's
Senior-
freedom. Piss
Paul
on
Senior-
everyone else.
Paul Senior has a good point, though. Like,
you know,
ultimately, we have to respect Paul Jr.'s free will to be what he wants to be.
well, and you know what?
I mean, maybe respect was the wrong word for it, but we have to acknowledge it and let it,
what Paul has done to his father's reputation. That's what kind of fucking kid? And what kind of people glorify a kid who wants to badmouth his father publicly?
I'll explain that to you. Can I say something about that?
Yeah.
So let me give you an example, Jack. Say your father is a bad ruler. Would you still say he's a good person? I wouldn't. Because if you're a child of God and you're religious, like you say,
okay, but Tarek, there's the. I always encourage people to speak what they believe is true. But what is the purpose? What is the purpose of Paul twisting everything his dad does into something bad? His dad, how dare his dad mention the book he created and published? How dare he? How dare he disrespect the platform? What the fuck is that?
How do you come to your conclusions that Paul's right? What if Paul were the one in the wrong? How would you know that?
No, okay. So here's my answer to you. We'll say I again said it. I'm gonna say it again. I never said Paul's 100% correct. I never said that. He makes mistakes. He's not.
So you must think that he's
No,
more correct.
yeah, no. Yes, I do. Now,
Why?
I'm not saying he's God because if he doesn't make any mistakes, that means he's God. He's not God.
Okay,
We all know that.
That's not the standard
Tarek,
I asked you about.
Listen
Okay,
to
well-
how he presents himself. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to deflect. Flo,
No, you're good.
ahead.
Good. What was the question again, full state?
You have a clear opinion that Paul is more in the right. I didn't say perfect, but that he's
Yep.
right in this situation. And I want to know, how are you confident in your conclusion?
Okay, so I seen, like I told you, Jack and Paul's show for almost a year and a half. I watched pretty much every show, almost all the 6 hours.
Jesus.
And I did, and I watched a lot of other audits way before to learn about the stuff. That's how I bumped into Paul's channel, and from Paul, I got to know Jack and everybody in here. Now, what I see is a man that stands up for truth. Now, whatever the disagreement between him and Jack has nothing to do with a man standing for the truth. This is where I'm going
Okay,
with
but
this.
Tarek, don't you think there's some obligation to make sure the words are truthful?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they have to be
Okay,
truthful.
well, Tarek, you fuck, oh dear, man.
No, I mean, here's the thing,
The
Jack.
way you defend, hey, the way you defend and bounce around for Paul, it's like unbelievable, dude. I
Jack,
mean,
it's not. Go ahead.
You've been
Steve,
watching
thank
Paul's
you
side
for
for
your
a year and a
comment.
half. How much have you heard Paul Senior talk?
I never watched Policy. Never seen him. I missed that one.
Have you ever seen him on on Paul's panel?
Never. No,
So you
I
haven't
missed
watched
that.
all of them apparently. So you've got one side of the story for a year and a half, and you have made a conclusion off that. I've seen Paul. Apparently, I've seen more of it than you have, and I don't feel confident making a decision about who's right in that dynamic. We didn't grow up in that household. We don't know.
I mean, I'm just, yeah, based on what I know, I'm just assuming of Paul's personality and what he stands for, that he's making the right decision, and he's going about it the right way. Now, I never seen it. Yeah, I never seen that show for some reason.
So I'm trying.
I didn't watch.
Don't you think
Go
that
ahead.
that's a little bit premature that you are not informed enough to make the decisions or judgments that you're making publicly?
No, what I'm saying is, like, say, okay, say for example, I didn't watch 100 of his videos. I watched 90. From the 90 I watched, and from all the 90 I watched, all, for example, Jack and everybody else, I see I see Paul being just a different person in terms of a lot of different things. It's just in my opinion. Now, nobody needs to get upset about it. I'm not saying Jack doesn't have, doesn't have anything to offer. Of course he does. I just think him and Paul have a lot of things to solve, and it's not going to go nowhere. Just going to be back and forth until we resolve them, or
Okay,
just let
hey,
it go.
right, and where we're at, Tarek. Okay, you have
Yeah,
the opportunity actually to involve yourself, should you want. Actually, you have been involving yourself,
I've
trying to
been.
convince me to believe that Paul is the daddy, but Paul, I'm
I don't look.
assuming this was really you. Thank you for being honest. You tell me, I know we've had her, but there's no real hate. I don't know that. I know you're very fake. I know you're very manipulative. I know you're very selfish. I know you're very egoic, Paul. I know that I cannot trust you based on your choices in my experience. So, Tarek, you claim to have watched this.
Mhm.
So, where in my life, what should I be grateful for? Or what actually, better question, fuck the
Good.
past. Why should I even consider continuing to try to talk with Paul? I brought him up today. We started off okay. Flo's presence triggered him, and he turned into a juvenile child again.
How about this? This is just my opinion, okay? How about one day you get on a show, just you and him, nobody, no flow state, nobody in there, just you and him. You ask Paul what he thinks, that, like, anything that any good attributes that you have, and you ask him the same thing as well. For example, Paul, I think you're good at this, you're good at this. What do you think I'm failing at? And he asks you the same thing. Then maybe you take those points and look at them yourself, self-assess, and see where you guys stand. Maybe that will work better instead of including a lot of people. Just both
Hey,
of you on the
Tarek,
channel.
actually, here's what I know to be true.
Hmm.
With outside support or without outside support, at some point, Paul is going to have to do an honest self-evaluation. Because personally, Tarek, I've heard enough of Paul's fucking opinions. I truly don't give a shit about what he thinks anymore because of the amount of disagreements and negativity that have just been spewed my way. So, Tarek, the fact that you're sitting here again also just bewilders me. How
Well,
stupid do you think I should be? How much more of his nonsense and disagreements and insults? How much more of that should I continue to take? Because besides you telling me that I should continue trying to give him a chance, I got other people telling me I'm already a coward and a fool because I've allowed myself to put up with this shit so long. I think Flo probably sides on that one.
I never
I
said
was zoning out. Yeah, I don't know. Tarek doesn't get it. I don't think he can get it. You've got a lot more something to deal with people that I just am right off. Scott, where the fuck did this guy come from?
Lost.
Scott welcome back. You doing okay, brother?
Oh, it could be better, could be worse. It's one of those things. Life has been a roller coaster of bullshit. So how do
the clubs you joined?
Behind you.
Yes, this is my new organizational chart.
Is that on your business card?
It's on the back of the business card. The other stuff's the.
I'm here to buy up some of your real estate on Maui.
Exactly.
Guys, hey, good to see you again, Scott. And I've still got Paul in the back. He is stubborn. Tarek, you said he's patient. He is not patient. He is exceptionally stubborn.
Okay. So here's the thing. He is patient, but he's also stubborn. I get it. Yes. Okay. He's got a little ego. I'm not saying he doesn't. But that comes from all the things he's been through, maybe what he stands for as well. And maybe he just thinks about you and everybody else that you guys are not on the same level as him. So he's not going to take your opinion as serious. Or if you doubt him or whatever, he may not take it as serious as you want to take it. What I'm saying to you is you have to sit with him maybe on a channel by yourself and ask yourself each other whatever questions you have to ask, and don't involve nobody and see where it goes. Because obviously with me and Flo Stay or Steve or anybody that's involved, or say anybody from Jack's thing, it's not solving anything.
But
I don't think it's solving anything.
Tarek, here's something I want you to consider, okay?
Good.
My goal for peace is that we, communities, we get involved to keep peace. If this happened, I mean, here's an opportunity. I've been seeing it on the platforms. If we come together for the purpose of peace, we'll be able to help mediate conversations. And honestly, if that happened in our families, in our communities, if neighbors actually helped mediate peace, there'd be less of a dependence on the costumed first responders, right?
I agree. Yeah.
And then without as many armed first responders intervening in disagreements, maybe there'd be less shootings and less whatever. So in this life, what I'm offering to people, all of us, we can all work towards peace, negotiating disagreements. That's part of what the Christian teachings was about as well. Before you go worship at the altar, if you've got a disagreement with your brother, go make resolve. So, and keep going on, but I appreciate this comment. We all have common ground in our negative experiences.
And I know, Jack, your faith and everything else. So let me ask you this question. Say Jesus was here right now. How would he solve the situation between you and Paul? How do you think he'll proceed it?
He would offer the truth, because the truth comes from God. It doesn't matter how much we want to fight for what we think of the truth. The facts are what is true. And here, we wouldn't need Jesus here. The way to resolve agreements is, okay, if there's a disagreement, people aren't getting along, narrow it down, get clarity. What is the disagreement? Most times, it's just egoic confusion. Okay, it's just reactive to the energies or to the beliefs. But if we have disagreements, we can get clarity on what is the topic. Once we identify the topic, we can identify the relevant facts. And maybe my view of facts contains this bit of information. Maybe your view of facts contains that bit of information. We bring those together, and then we find out what we're missing.
Why do we leave Jesus out of it?
Yeah, no, I was just hypothetically saying that. I'm not saying I'm doing that. I'm just saying if somebody, I'm just saying that. I'm not.
No, I appreciate
what would Jesus say? What would Jesus say? What would he try? And that's a good question. I'd like an answer to that. What, not what Jack would say, leave Jesus out. Let's go back to what might he say?
Yeah, well, let's go to the Bible, for example. What does the Bible say? In terms of this conflict.
Man, why are you chasing them off your boat?
Well, I think if Jesus was here, regardless of what the Bible would say, he would want peace amongst the brothers and sisters. He would want peace to be shared.
But how, peace? Jack, when you have this agreement? I'm saying, how would he do it? That's the problem we're having. How? What's the way?
Tarek, Jesus is the symbol in the archetype of love. Okay, so if love was here, what would love do? And love, in that form was representing God, the Almighty. And the Almighty has already offered us the day, has offered us the spirits, the consciousness, the awareness, the ability of speech, the technology. God has already offered us, brought forth all that we need. And if we do bring love into the equation of now, that's where peace is shared.
I think Paul loves you. I have no doubt in my mind he doesn't love you. I just think I'm sure you love him too, and I just think there's disagreements that has to be resolved. That's all. It's not much. Somebody, I don't know.
I agree, Tarek, and I appreciate.
And I'm telling you, I'm telling you in front of Paul and Jack and everybody here. I'm sure you're all probably more intelligent than me. I'm just saying just what I feel in terms of the energy. You don't have to be super. I don't have to be super smart like Paul, because I think he is very brilliant in a lot of things, or you and anybody else in their own things. I just feel the energy between you both, and it has to be resolved man to man. I don't think anybody should be involved.
Tarek, I respect that. I've invited Paul and I to have conversation.
Then you should lead by example, Tarek.
Well, here.
And how would you want me to lead by example? Go ahead.
Off.
Let me
see, I don't get triggered. No, that's okay. I don't get triggered. See that?
No, you don't. You know what? You get credit for that. You don't get triggered.
Yeah. No, you do very well. Let me address, please, Paul. Thank you for your patience. And I know there is not I trust there is not ill intent in anything you do. But I want to actually, brothers and sisters, we're coming up on 2.5 hours. I have been pushing myself trying to build up to that 3-hour mark in case I do get to fill in for Z when he takes off. But
all right, are you kicking us off? Because I was about to. Adios.
I'm feeling that. Flo, thank you for joining.
Paul, do you have anything else that you want to say or cover before I go, so that I'm not running away from you?
No. Did you feel like you were running away from me?
Well, I've been accused of it earlier, so I just want to. If you have anything else that you want to cover, then.
As if we've covered so much thus far, right?
Okay, so I'm gonna take off then. Have fun looping.
Right. So if we could just So if we could just work on you coming back tomorrow and not having bitterness, jealousy, envy, hate, resentment in your heart, projecting false strength and confidence, that'd be great.
Paul, I love you, man, but you describe you so well.
I know. I described me. Got it.
Tarek, what were you
Jack,
saying, bro?
Should I leave so you guys can talk about it, and I'll watch? But I think it's better if we both just talk about it, if it can go somewhere.
You know what, Tarek, please, thank you for joining today. Thank you for for bringing your perspectives and your grace and compassion. You don't get triggered. You got a real strength to you, and I appreciate that demonstration.
And Jack, you would never know. I had to go to anger management. I used to be a very angry man. I fought a lot of people in my life, and I've been in a lot of trouble.
Can I compliment flow state as an exercise?
Please, if you can.
I'm actually, because the more I play this game out, the more I learn so much. I'm thankful that Flow State was here tonight in his tight t-shirt, because he got at least 2 or 3 women to come out of character and show how lustful they are and how they would be willing to possibly, you never know, go against their loyalties to the white gorilla, because I am slightly overweight and, you know, he might be in better shape than I. So I always need to keep a loser failure around who's in better condition than me physically, so I could draw out all of the goofy broken hoes and not have to deal with them. So that was a benefit for me. Hey. Most people would be egoic about that. I am always thankful and grateful, and I always find a way to be thankful and grateful.
That is the best practice. It is. Hey, I'll let you in on a secret that I've been doing for myself. It's an excuse, right? Because we all know how women like to be able to change a man. You know, they like to feel like they accomplished something. So allow yourself a few imperfections that are easily taken care of. That's why I've been so lazy about getting on my exercise and working out. Dude, if a woman can fall for me because of my mind and my spirit, especially while I'm broke and out of shape, fuck yeah, she's a keeper.
That's the thing, though, that for a woman to be physically attracted enough to a man to have to speak on it, she must be that desperate. If she just days before said the man was so grotesque emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. So to go from he's grotesque mentally, emotionally, and spiritually to go ahead and take your shirt off, I already know you're a broken hoe and a goofy bitch. And it took me a year to figure it out. I'm not going to name names, but it's like that. It's that quick, right? Because if you ask any real woman, they could always acknowledge when somebody is physically attractive, but they will not energetically move into that space to accept and receive them because they see that they're mentally, emotionally, and spiritually broken and grotesque. And flow state is that, of course, right? I mean, even down to the eye twitching and the dead-eyed darting around the room gaze, right? Just the kind of broken gaze. But so it's apparent when you look at a lot of people, what's going on just behind the eyes. The eyes are the windows to the soul. You don't even really need to interact with them much.
But Paul, that's the
you see the difference, Jack, in that picture of me right there. They all say, oh, that must be a photoshopped image. He's too sexy, right? Yeah, that's me without showering for 3 days in a fucking truck in 100-degree weather. And I got a light and a passion and a hunger and a fire in my eyes. That motherfucker looks like the living, walking dead. Okay? But he's got nice arms and shoulders in his t-shirt, his Abercrombie t-shirt. So again, everyone plays their role in my life one way or the other to discern what the truth is long term. I love it. I love the characters in this game. You think I hate any of you? I love you guys and this whole game. And you guys fail so much, so regularly, it can't help but to make me look better, except to the fools who are failing as well and want to justify their existence. You spent another 2.5 hours talking exclusively about me. You did another broken hoe conference.
Paul, that is
you've done them every day straight for weeks and months now. It's pathetic.
Contradict your.
I wasn't even restraining this.
Paul, hey, you've been going on and on about the attraction some revealed towards another, but that's the miracle of this life, man. There is something for everyone, and you know, there's something mysterious about this. A lot of times the people, another lesson, Paul. This came up earlier in the conversation that was not only about you, but things are not always as they seem. Things are not always what they appear. I know that's true about me. Many
So
ways
if
about
things
you
aren't
too,
always what
Paul.
they appear, then shouldn't we look to results as maybe a barometer of what
You
is
look-
real?
Well, you look for a variety of results for information.
Hey, what'd you
look for
think?
information.
Let's redirect here, Jack and Paul show, if we may.
All right.
What'd you think of my father coming in again tonight? He literally, just to show how much of a broken bitch he is, he literally got off the phone with me yesterday, and we ended on a pretty decent note. What does he do? Come in here today, play the victim, tell people to leave my channel if they don't like me, say that I ruined his reputation. How fucking pathetic and embarrassing for a grown man who has no good reputation to then claim the same thing you claim, that I ruined his non-good reputation online, that he chose to be here, keep showing up, and keep showing who and what he is, that then ruins his reputation. I didn't do it.
Paul,
I'm just highlighting what's being done.
Choose what
So do you think,
say.
Jack, this is my question. Do you think I could ever trust, respect, or go deeper in a relationship with someone who talked to me yesterday, didn't address anything, ended on a good note after we had a back and forth a little bit, right? Then came here today to talk to the public and to everyone else but me about how I destroyed his reputation, he's a victim. How could I trust, respect, or perceive that person as love able if that's the way they handle themselves in the private and public?
If you want an answer, and I encourage you, there is a way to love them. You change your opinion. Okay? You allow.
So they don't have to change their behavior. I have to change my opinion.
Paul,
That's fascinating.
Well, for the behavior to change, maybe something different could be tried. And maybe if you change your opinion, you'd have a better opportunity of communicating. Now, I don't know. I wasn't there in the conversation with you and your dad. I can imagine myself, trying to find peace. You said it started off rough, ended on a decent note. I can find myself trying to accommodate peace for the moment. But Paul, there's patterns of unresolved behavior of yours that, until we accept accountability or responsibility for what we do, things keep showing back up in the
right. So I'm the reason why the predator who was here before me, who has the same reputation, lack of credibility, track record, I'm the reason why that person who before I was ever here keeps generating the same results from the consciousness they're at, while I've changed my consciousness multiple times along my journey to meet life on life's terms. While I have selfish egoic motherfuckers who won't change and want to stay the same and make me like them, not change to meet life on life's terms.
Well, that's what your panel has been attracting, in my opinion.
Okay.
And
that's another fault of mine, right? It's amazing how everything is to blame the victim.
Paul,
blame the victim.
Hey, Paul, here's how the reality
is the victim, and the victim is the perpetrator. How amazing.
If you want to keep looping on your narratives and bitterness, then
right. So when I was speaking about all these things that I speak about now,
Paul, I'm going to wrap this up. Okay?
Yeah, you're not interested in the truth and resolution.
Final words.
You're not interested in truth and resolution. You're a bullshitter, just like my father is.
Paul, are you interested?
Why did this person come back up in defensive posture?
I don't know. Hey, how you doing, Flo?
Hey, I'm good. You
take that for something? Did you have an idea, or just? Oh, he was bad mouthing you. But
if we're wrapping up, then we're wrapping up. I don't need to continue on with it. We're continuing on. I mean, I might as well be here if I'm being talked about.
I understand.
What did I say about him that I must have not been aware of?
I am ready to wrap it up, though. So,
what did I say about him? Just to bring awareness to me?
It wasn't about him. It was about the people in the chat. It was people that were not here, but you want to talk about people that are not here instead of address your behavior that I've been trying to talk to.
I don't, Jack, just let me ask him. What did I just say about you that you want to address with me?
Those were
I don't need to address it, but I just figured I'd make myself present if you want to keep talking.
What did I say about you? You said you were leaving. I said I didn't need to address you. I went to talking to Jack. You're back again saying I'm talking about you. Am I?
You started talking about me, so I came back in case you want to talk about something.
What did I say about you? I don't remember talking about you.
The shirt and the reactions to people viewing his shirt, and you were talking about how you're glad to have someone like him, although you didn't present him in a positive manner. But
wait, so because I said,
so now that I've explained the confusion, Paul, I've been saying I want to wrap up. I don't mean to offer you disrespect, but God bless, you don't really allow a lot of opportunities for anything else.
That was like a right hook with that bless.
Sometimes I don't know what to do, man. People do test my patience. But hey, I'm going to wrap up. I'm going to do my final words, Flo. Thanks for popping back up. Brothers and sisters, those who tuned in today for the panel, join the panel. Paul, I do love you. I know you're giving me the finger again. Lou, you've tried to come up several times. You've heard me saying I'm ready to wrap up. What's going on,
Jack,
brother?
Why are you so afraid of me, Jack?
I'm not afraid of you, Lou, but you offer me nothing that I desire.
Well, I mean, that may be so, but am I that much of a threat that you can't just come up and give it a shot? Like,
No.
I mean, I may have something.
Lou,
Yeah.
you ignored my explanation. You minimized what I said.
So I offer
What
you
I
nothing.
said
That's what you said?
You offer me nothing
I offer
that
you
I
nothing.
desire. Nothing that I desire. Do you ever think of what Jack might want? No, you don't. You think of yourself and you think of ways to enable your boss, Paulie boy, try to kiss up, insult me to make Paulie happy with you. It's a little game you guys have been playing, and I'm kind of tired of it, Lou. Do you see that game, Paul?
I know that narrative exists. I really don't even care what else anybody does other than them standing on what they perceive as true and real. So I would not want somebody to back me because of how they feel about me if I was incorrect.
Well, I know Paul, I want to believe you do have some respect and trust for me, but seeing that you host a panel, and I know your policy is to allow people to do and say what they want, but people come on your panel and it just goes around and insults Jack out of fucking nowhere, and seems to be the way to get along with you, Paul. So it really makes me wonder what the fuck is going on with you.
Okay, that's again an interesting narrative, but then there's the reality of the situation.
I know. Here, the
majority of us are okay.
I know you'll have a disagreement with my narrative, and Paul, with respect, I don't need your gaslighting. I don't need you telling me I'm wrong about my real life experience. And brothers and sisters, today, the idea, the goal, what I want to offer is the concepts, right? The concepts of wholeness, being complete, being set apart, right? All of this is available through detachment. And it's not, you're not breaking off. You're not putting yourself above. You're not doing anything like that. What you're doing is allowing the creative force that is, I call it God, right? The laws of creation that bring forth nature and plants and animals and us, that will and intelligence of nature is what I call God. And these lives, it's just passage in time, moments by moments, and all of the patterns, the sun rises and sets, the moon moves around, everything flows according to patterns, and it's real easy to get lost in our minds, in the thoughts of past and future. We do have a new guest. Welcome, Janelle.
Well, hello, Jack. How are you?
I'm feeling blessed.
Well, that's good. So, are you a life coach for real?
I have studied many different modalities, and I've practiced a lot of different things of self-development for myself. I've trained in the field, and I have peers that identify as life coach. For today's terms, yeah, that's kind of what I am.
But like, you have no certifications. You just claim it.
Well, I used to have certifications. It's a crazy story. Okay. Where I'm at, under whatever title you want, I'm a man who cares about people. I've been blessed in this lifetime to learn a lot as far as recovery, recovery from addictions, from past memories, from past limitations. I've studied health, and I want the world to be a healthier place. So I did start studying to become a life coach because I wanted to change the world. And I thought, if I can get audiences as a speaker, and if I can work with people as a mentor or a coach to help make a better world. We just got an echo. I'm going to mute you back up for a moment, Janelle. But with the heart of an activist, I studied to become a life coach. So far, no people have worked with me, though. So I realize that was a long answer to your question. Sorry for that, but I'm an unproven life coach. I'm an untested public speaker. I have a lot of potential, so I believe. Janelle, you froze. I'm not sure what happened. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
I think. Okay.
Can you hear me?
There is now an echo when I speak.
There's an echo?
When I speak. Do you have another tab?
How's that?
Let's see. Nope. Still there.
All right, give me 1 second. I'll try this again.
Okay. Holy cows. I was actually planning on wrapping up. Paul, God bless you. Yes, brother.
Choose love, Jack, please. Can we just choose love? Can we do like another 15 minutes till the 3-hour even mark? Just completely choosing love and not getting triggered and reactive.
I'd love to do that. Acceptance and peace,
Right.
I know. I am a life coach with no clients.
I mean, come on. I wasn't going to say nothing, but you brought it up again. You're testing me, you little devil.
Well,
I want to jump all over that. You just told her you're a life coach with no students. I mean,
it's honest. I'm not lying. I mean, within my heart, I trust and truly believe. I've said this before. I think if someone gave me 90 minutes with the purpose of actually focusing on them without me trying to build my credibility and
right,
gain the trust and all the sales bullshit,
right,
I think I could help someone.
Jack, you know how I got Jennifer and many other women? I tell them I'm a personal trainer, but I have no students. And, they look at me weird because they go, you can't stand up or get out of that chair. I say, no. I'm a personal trainer, transformational personal trainer. They buy it at some point.
Well, the future will reveal what is true. And Paul, I'm not a failure. My biggest failure.
Well, you're not dead yet, but if you died today, you would be.
No, I'm actually pretty proud of what I've achieved in this lifetime already. It's not been great. Hasn't been, life-changing for great many people, but I've done my part in this life. And the thing is, the only failure I've made is failing to create the opportunity. I've seen opportunities. I pursued what I believed were opportunities, but I either misspoke or talk about the wrong things and fail to close the deal. So you can call me a failure because the results are not stacked up, or you can see the potential. Brother, I have been preparing, and all of these failures bring lessons. I have learned so much. Now it's just a matter of getting it put into action, what I know. I don't know what to do, honestly. I'm out of ideas besides doing this and the things that I do. Oh shit, that reminds me. I gotta mow the yard.
It's like fucking, isn't it like 8 o'clock at night there?
No, it's only 6. But it'd be about the perfect time.
I'm just saying, isn't there like this zone? What can we name it? This Talcottian zone, if you will. Right? We're just brainstorming. First try. Where it just works. You don't remember that? Like the thing they all hated on Talstock? That was a simulation. And it was like, it just fucking worked. Felt good, man. And then they had to corrupt it.
Well,
like everything else, all the people in our lives keep trying to corrupt our relationship. Jack, you see how my father is? Jealous, envious, cowardly, infidel. I come here and I show you more deference and respect than my own father. And what does he do? Tries to act out on it and tear us apart. Like they all do.
Here.
They don't want to see us happy.
Paul, there's a lot of confusion and people aren't clear on what they want nor how to achieve what they want.
Right. Here, I always get what I want somehow. Paul, isn't that weird?
Paul, hold on.
No. Me? Yes. Because I'm a narcissist. And I never lie. It's crazy.
No, I know. Hey, Janelle. Please. How's this? Thank you. You asked a question. I tried answering. Your audio sounds clear. I'm not sure. What are your thoughts?
Well, I didn't get a chance to hear what you said. That's what I was trying to say. I didn't get a chance to hear it because I ended up getting a phone call. So the question was, you're a life coach, but you're not certified?
Technically,
like you don't practice though, right? Like you just give like advice on some, like, we might be friends, but we not really friends, but this is what I think you should do.
Actually, I have trained and I did become certified under a particular method and trainer, actually a couple of certifications, different modalities. I used to try and get clients, sell myself professionally for no fees. I think I can help people. If someone wants to see if what I've learned is helpful, I'm willing to work with people short term. The way I see coaching, unlike psychiatrists or chiropractors, I think an effective coach works with you for a short time. You gain the strength and the fundamentals, and then you move on your life without the need.
Right. Have you ever thought about just becoming a chiropractor? Like if you would just crack my back and shut up and stop arguing with me, we'd get along great. It's when you start talking that shit goes south.
Yes,
Talcott, you know how much, I think we just stumbled upon something. You know how much contact you could get? You say no one's dealing with you and you can't get anyone to interact with you or listen to you. If you just became a chiropractor, you get so much conversation day to day and like,
probably
interaction. Like, that move that every chiropractor does where that move, they throw you on your side. They put their genitals right up on your leg, and then they snap you to the side, right? I mean, you could pretty much almost get off doing that. And there's no liability with that, right? Hey, I'm chiropracting. You can't say shit.
Paul, all jokes aside.
You thought I was joking? Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
when I work with people in the future, I've learned how to discover so much pleasure in my body through massage, particularly massage. And I was thinking about that this morning, man. When I do connect, when another partner comes into my life, that woman is going to be spoiled. She's going to learn some
Jack, are
things.
you saying that you get off by giving massages, or that when you get massages, you get off? I'm just trying to get some clarification here.
Fair enough. I use massage as a form of yoga. It brings the stillness into I practice self-massage. My legs, my back. I'm constantly like my back. I've learned how to massage my own back to bring pleasure. It takes your breath
Holy
away.
shit, I can't even reach my own back to clean it.
Now, Jack, I gotta admit to you, I too practice yoga massage as well, but I practice it using tools that vibrate very hard.
Oh. Different kind
and it's normally frontal.
Yeah.
Right. It's normally frontal yoga. It's like it looks like I'm making like, I don't know. It kind of looks like this. You know,
like you're churning butter. Yeah, like the old Amish.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Thank you, Paul.
That was about. Yeah.
However, is that what you do too, Jack? Like, do you use essential oils as well? Like, where do you get these oils from? Do you go to like an adult shop to get these oils? Like, just because it's more like fermented with like, you know, pheromones to turn you on? I'm just trying to see how far we're going with this.
Fat melted down.
Right. Like, is there like, are you actually having a release, or is it a mental release?
No.
I'm just asking for clarification.
I always picture they break in there and it's like Ed Gein's trailer where he's got like lamps made out of skin. No. We have to have a conversation about why no one will come back to that house ever. He's a life coach with no students. Do you know how many dumb people there are out there? You can't get one stupid motherfucker to join you. You're saying something, man. You all keep saying I'm culted up. If I got 130 or more cult members, I gotta be smarter than you. You can't even get one motherfucker to follow you.
I know. This is the bizarreness. So
I'm trying to tell you, I'm just smarter than all you guys. If you would just accept that,
so Jack, are you single though, Jack? Are you single? Is that what I heard you say, that you are in fact single?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
I'm gonna tell you right now, from what I've seen from all the cult leaders on Hulu and Amazon Prime, like all these people who started leading cults, they all had wives who were able to help manipulate other people into believing them. So maybe if you get yourself a wife who's dumb enough to like follow you and be like, oh my God, he's God and he knows everything.
Well, that's
I'm so serious. That's what I've seen. That was the key, is the wife.
That's the thing. He had a wife and they separated over religious differences. She refused to accept he was God. Don't talk over the damn punchline, ma'am. Come on, you're a comedian. Jesus. You gotta teach all these people, Talcott. You see, they say don't work with children and animals. I'm adding a third one, African Americans.
No.
Well, I believe it, because, you know, we do talk at movies. I will fuck a whole movie up.
I wasn't going to say it. I'm glad you did.
No.
Truth is truth.
Moose is waiting in the back to come home, and you've been a bad daddy, Jack. You threw me in the back. You kept him back there. All of your metaversal children who are here to learn from you. And you've abused us and silenced us and kept us neglected. Come on, man. Like, we expect better from you.
Dude, there is chatter in the back. Tommy,
So Janelle,
oh my goodness.
Janelle, how are you not Cynthia 2.0? Like, when you come up and question Jack about his credentials and his diplomas, you think that doesn't apply to your mans over here? Hey, yo, whose mans is this? With the microphone dangling like a ball sack in front of me.
Tommy, I do know that Jack won't like mute you, and that's fine. I'm not asking him to. I'm just asking if you are gonna talk to me. Like, I need to see your face. Like, let me see your face, Tommy. That's all I'm asking.
You're looking at me.
No,
I'm not.
You can go to any number of past lives on any channel you hear any of these people say the name of.
Hey, Guys, Tommy, thank you
I don't
for
know who
bringing
kicked
that.
him out, but thanks
I do.
for whoever came out. Or thank you, Jack, because I wasn't questioning your credentials. That is not at all what I'm questioning. You offered me a position as far as you being my life coach, and if I'm going to take this in sincerity, then I would like to know if you are qualified in order to be my life coach. However, I'm going to be honest with you, Jack. I do try to let people to life coach me who are the same race, just because, I mean, you don't walk
Respect.
through black shoes. So what can you
Nope.
really tell me about my black life?
That is very true. Actually,
This
though,
is where I can coach African Americans because my own father said that I am like an N-word. So I just, have lived the life and lifestyle and pretty much matches up in all ways. I mean, they did an Ahmaud Arbery on me, tackled me in my own neighborhood saying, "What are you doing here, boy?" I said, I live here, so I get profiled even.
here's it's true that I've not experienced that life, but what I do understand is thoughts and emotions very well. I understand the basic principles for physical health, emotional health, mental health, and I understand how important those things are. So, and I know what's worked for me. So where I'm at, Janelle, for you or others, if you are interested.
Now you're characterizing, just to be clear, your life is working right now.
Brother, I'm living this life while the circumstances and results may not be to your standards.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay. No,
this
you're good.
life is more dreamy than I thought was possible. My life is incredible as far as I can qualify that in many ways. So here's the point. Janelle,
can we get like the top three? You're breezing right past.
Give
me the top three.
I'll come back to it, please.
Okay.
Janelle, you brought up that there's big differences. Here's one thing I love. I love learning about other people. Okay. So yes, your challenges and your life experiences would be different. That means there's probably stuff I could learn from you as well. And I'm willing to share time with anyone who's interested, and then go from there. You see what's offered and decide what you want to do.
I don't think she wants to teach you how to give a woman an orgasm. I mean, she might. She was speaking on this earlier, but
brother, as I said, I have much to offer in the future when my relationship status changes.
I don't know, Paul. Maybe he could help me with this massage. He could help me with this massage yoga. I'm trying to learn a new level up, learn a different position.
New levels of pleasure, new levels of release. Those are my goals for myself each day.
New levels of incarceration.
No, dude. I broke free of my mental prison. I broke free of my emotional desolation.
So what are the three, Jack? What are the three top three that Paul's requesting? Because I would love to hear them as well.
Oh, that's right. What was the top three for my successes? Is that what we were going with? My achievement? No, it wasn't achievements, results. My practice of gratitude, despite the external conditions, I have such a practice of gratitude, prayer, meditation. I have so much joy and inner peace to offer. And each day, I find levels of fulfillment because each day I move forward on various goals, and I'm only in competition with me. If everyone was only in competition with themselves, trying to create a better future and offering more to the world, you know how quickly this whole world would change?
Can we get those again? Every time that he says something, there's another list we need. So now can we get the list of goals that you said that you've hit? Because I've seen you do pretty much 2 and 3 hour broadcasts for weeks and months straight, all about me. And that's pretty much competing with me and not with yourself. So can I get the list of goals that you've been hitting?
I've been growing in my commitment to God. the amount of time devoted to prayer, meditation, to self-care. I've grown in my ability to find peace, to extend the moment, extend now, and have serious. I spend, I don't know how, I lose track of time, and I actually don't keep track of how long it is, but I spend time each day in new levels of bliss, in massage, stretch, meditation, and thought.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and ask. You ever had a traumatic brain injury, Talcott?
No.
No.
I've been punched in the head a few times, but
that might be it. That might be it. This sounds a lot like Muhammad Ali. Late in his career, he just kind of sat around, stared at everyone, just kind of felt blissful, and then mumbled about achievements that either happened so long ago everyone forgot, or were just part of his imagination. Really,
my achievements, Paul, as long as I live, I'm focused on the same goal: to become better as me and to find a way to end wars and oppression throughout the world. I'll either succeed or fail.
Can I issue you a challenge?
More? Sure.
Yeah. Well, this is like a challenge that should be very easy, but might be very difficult. Since all the other narcissistic manipulators around you keep doing it with me daily, I figure I'll try my hand at it. Can you challenge yourself to do a broadcast with limited to no interaction on panel? Like how I came in. 2-3 hours at a time, just kind of speaking extemporaneously, stream of consciousness, interaction with the chatters.
Mm-hmm. I could do a lot of different things as far as advancing and developing the entertainment, but I'm not really here. I really don't want to entertain. I'm hoping to offer some inspiration or encouragement, people to develop their own ideas. And seriously, I just want to make a better world.
Okay, if Flow State can attempt to psychologically analyze you while being completely inept in pretty much every arena I see him present, I want to try my hand. You realize that you're like a born entertainer, right? Regardless of what we want or don't want. I mean, you think that I thought that rights, freedom, principles, spiritual faith, all the other stuff I talk about had anything to do with entertainment? Not necessarily. What I've come to learn about myself or remember is that I was kind of born for that in a way. And I see the same thing with you. I don't see the same thing with Ho State and others like him. So this is what I always find fascinating is you can claim that I'm holding you back while I tell you from the beginning I see potential. I think just your likeness, your voice, your presentment, however I want to characterize it, if I was going to put people in a lineup and say, who am I going to pick to do the series? It's Talcott all day, every day. I don't choose Flow State. I don't choose DD214. These are loser schlubs who sit around, hate, and cycle. You could have and be better, right? It's not even an egoic statement. It's people are endeared to you even when you're a complete asshole and prick, right? So I know that there's a little bit of a left-handed compliment there, but I just don't see why you wouldn't step into being somebody. And you're quick-witted, man. When we were rapping that week, and I throw something at you, you throw shit back so quick. I go, this motherfucker's on it, man. So I don't understand why you wouldn't lean into that, since it's a natural talent and ability of yours.
I thank you. I'm recognizing this myself. In the past, I developed my myself into positions of being an entertainer. I never fucking liked it, but I know that I can do it. But here, Janelle, I think Janelle, were you trying to say something? Did you want some offer?
A couple of times. I was actually going to say what Paul just said. Almost sounded like a compliment. But what I was actually going to say was, Jack, how long have you been going live and building your YouTube channel?
I started on YouTube about 4 years ago. partially just to document the bizarreness of my experience and to try and find community. But I got more regular, almost daily patterns after I met Paul. I started getting online pretty much daily. So that started around November of last year. I've been pretty consistent almost daily since the beginning of the year. I took a few days off.
It was a couple of weeks in there, but it was understandable, right? I mean, I guess he needed sabbatical. Yeah.
Well, I had to regroup after my frustrations with you and some of the other opposition, man.
I don't take days off, Talcott. You know that. That's the difference, right? I'm not trying to compete. I'm just saying you can't tell me I'm off on any of this. My results speak for themselves.
Well, what if results could be more? What if there could be less effort, less time, greater results? That's what I believe is achievable. So, hey, guys, I'm really about to wrap this up. I got to get this yard mowed. The neighbors, they already don't like me, so I don't need to give them more excuses. Janelle, can we continue conversations? Can I ask you to return?
Definitely. I will definitely return, Jack, because apparently I did not get notified when you went live, but apparently I'm also following the wrong page. So now I will subscribe so I can definitely come back and ask you more questions because I love asking questions. I got to get down to the nitty gritty, you know?
Hey, please do. I enjoy your energy. You've got a beautiful smile, gorgeous,
Thank you.
gorgeous light to you. Is this, if I tag you, are you entertained by Janelle on YouTube?
Yes.
Beautiful.
All right. Well, have a great night.
Thank you, my friend.
All right, we'll see you later.
Brother, thank you. You've been a challenge and you've been a frustration, but I am endeared to you. I think that's the right way to say it. You got a big heart, big place in my heart, Paul. And I actually believe it's mutual. I have great hopes for our future, whatever those may be. For the world, I've got great hopes for the world's future. Because I cannot accept the possibility that humanity stays this stupid. It can't continue.
It can't. So thousands of years of evidence so far is to be overlooked. We have thousands of years of history of stupidity and ignorance.
We've never had this level of technology and ability to communicate amongst the masses. These conversations are the old town hall, the old community conversations that would be happening. Maybe at the post office or on the corner.
This is a virtual asylum, Jack. Let's not kid ourselves. There is nothing. There's nothing town hallish about any of these interactions. It's complete insanity and asylum. That's why I don't take it any of it as credible. I've had to learn to see it all as a freak show circus because, again, the world I come from, it's like if we're going to do black and white, either we're at court and we're completely honorable, presentable, and stick to the facts of the matter, or we're back on the street where there's no rules. So we got to find a middle ground here.
Paul, as scary as it sounds, we are the solution because you're right. We live in a fucking open air insane asylum. There is no freedom. It's free range. And the inmates of the insane asylum are policing and regulating the other inmates. Fucking, it's nuts.
But Jackie boy, that's why I try to tell you that it might sound egoic, but I'm the only one that I've met on here, barring maybe a handful of folks who've come through those doors, who can say that they've done what I've done and gotten certain results in certain venue. Everything else is just them yammering and yapping online. And even that is a complete embarrassment. So it's just always false equivocations on who and what we all are. And it just doesn't hold water,
Well, the thing is, though, is I'm focused on the future. I know others are and have achieved and have not achieved other things, but I'm focused on the future. And I cannot, all right, if you look at my life the way it is, I cannot accept it's going to continue this same pattern, for much longer. So when stupidity ends amongst the people who I used to know, when they pull their heads out of their asses and they stop avoiding me, making excuses to keep me out of their lives, when those people stop being stupid, my life will immediately change. And through the change of my life, I'll have greater access to helping others in this world. And brother, we are changing this world one day
Jack,
at a time.
imagine if all of these channels, see, the masters of psychology got everyone again with their own self-interest. Because the fact that now there's cross-platforming and little communities and chats means nobody can now be in their own lane and develop their broadcast and their identity and their beingness in this space, right? Authentically. So I go, you realize how many of us are tricking ourselves or been tricked out of position because we don't focus on working with ourselves and together. It's too much competition that isn't even healthy. I love healthy competition that is based on the facts of the matter, where we have to then concede who the best man that wins is in each category. But this is like, we just want to hate, right? Imagine if we did a broadcast where you say you're a life coach, you do like you did with me that day. It's a phenomenal interaction, right? You create the thing, we do the life coach assessment, and then we do maybe a little bit of arguing for a bit on which one of us is more fucked up than the other. If you're not worried about how it feels in your life leaving here, then it's all good, right? Because I don't mind it. Imagine if we worked every day on creating bits and we didn't rehearse them. We just said, we're going to do the IQ test today with everybody that comes up. We're going to do Wheel of Fortune, whatever. I know you don't want to entertain, but would you rather entertain and inform and work into something that might be successful, or do the bitch fest about me all day, every day, and how everybody feels? What does that do? What does that accomplish? What's the fucking point?
Well, Paul, I've said this before, is that you've got a lot of wisdom. I've got a lot of wisdom. And when we're apart, we share wisdom. But for whatever reason, when we come together, it just turns into this relationship competition. And, but you know what? The past is the past. It brings us to today. I'm going to shut this down.
All right. I'll see you later, Jack. I don't want to hold you up, man.
Respect. Thank you, brother. And again, brothers and sisters, I started down this path before. Thank you again to all those who joined the panel, who joined the conversations in the chat, and who share their time and attention, maybe at a later point. The topic of health. We all have this body. We all got a mind. We all got a spirit. Each of ours is our own. We can do with this world and everything we receive. It's up to us what we offer and share with others. And the world can bring us negativity. It can bring us a lot of insecurities. It can bring us a lot of anger and a lot of fear. And it's real easy to allow that stuff to come out. My frustrations, they come out sometimes, but the purpose of our time together is to share some peace, the practices of peace, becoming whole, content, and grateful. So I am whole, content, and grateful. I appreciate Moose. Thank you for stopping by in the back. We will talk one day in the future, I'm sure. And brothers and sisters, to all of us, to all of you, to all those you know, God bless. Choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. Thank you.